on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you like to listen to the audio without having to look at Nick.
That might be preferred, actually.
We got a lot to unpack this week. Football is back. Happy to have it. It's been great. A lot of ups and downs. So far, it looks like I've locked up 3 of my leagues. I should be the winner. I've got 2 that are still up for grabs. If Saquon can come through, I also need Juju and TJ Watt to get a couple more points here to put me over the edge in one.
Indeed. I have a few players going as well. Who does the chat have tonight? Who do you have tonight that you need a couple more points from to win your week's matchup?
Yeah, let us know who we're rooting for.
Let us know. Darius Slayton with another catch.
Yeah, Slayton, he was going at the end of drafts. A couple people picking him up. I like Sterling Shepard personally, so
I got a little wager on Sterling Shepard tonight. I need him to catch or get more than 47 receiving yards, and I need Saquon to go for more than 102 all-purpose yards. So we'll see if those get through. Not a great start, but I don't know. We're doing it.
All right, so first thing I want to talk about, let's talk about some of the I told you so's too early. So things that we've been waiting for, we've been predicting, they came true. I want to just gloat for a moment and hope that it continues through the year. But Calvin Ridley, he's been my guy. I got him in multiple leagues. Just a great day. Great day for Calvin Ridley.
I said he wasn't a 1, and he's starting to prove me wrong.
So many great wide receivers on a team in a losing effort.
I know. It is. It's disappointing.
Julio got a lot of yards, but didn't get the touchdowns. My man Calvin getting the touchdowns. So really, that's why I liked him.
Nothing's changed then. Julio's still not catching touchdowns, and Calvin Ridley is still
Gage getting involved. So
Russell Gage with, what was it, 9 for 89 or something in that ballpark?
Yeah.
That's a big day.
Better than a lot of people would have expected for Gage. I think people were kind of hoping that Hayden Hurst would break out, get those yards that went to him. How concerned should Hayden Hurst owners be? Talk me off the ledge because I got him in one.
I think it might have been just game script for the first game. I wouldn't panic on Hayden Hurst.
The game script was throw it all the time, and they didn't throw it to Hayden.
The game script wasn't to throw it to Hayden. He must have just fell off the map. Russell Gage got the touches instead. I'm not panicking yet. I think he's going to fit fine into that role.
I'm hoping.
We just got to wait it out a little bit.
They want to throw. They're going to throw. How concerned should Todd Gurley owners be about that fact?
I think, as you saw in the first half, they wanted to use him. They wanted to use him a lot. He was
defense
productive.
Is a sieve.
It's not great.
The Seattle Seahawks looked like
they could do whatever they wanted.
Greatest offense that's ever been. Yeah. And do you believe it? I know you got Russell Wilson. He was a keeper in one of our leagues. Is Russell Wilson just... You told me that he was good. We never believed he was good.
Russell Wilson's good.
And then he came out, and he was very, very good.
Russell Wilson's very good.
Now, was he very good because the Falcons' defense is so bad, or will he continue to do this against good defenses?
It definitely plays a part. I think they're going to be fine. I'm not worried about anybody really on that offense right now. Everybody, it's fine. Gurley will be all right. He got the touches early. It didn't go in his favor the last quarter and a half probably. But you were happy with the production, no?
I was happy with Calvin Ridley. That's where I was. Couldn't have been any happier. That's the happiest I am about any player all week.
All right, who else you got?
So the other I told you so's. We're gonna dive into it. So
don't forget to bring a towel.
Oh man, that I was trying to get it out there into the world. I thought maybe there was something wrong with me because everywhere I looked, everyone had Robbie Anderson, unranked, undrafted.
He went
ranked, but very, very low. He's on your waiver wires in a couple spots. Maybe take a glance over. I've been saying it, though. Robbie Anderson, again, they paid him $20 million. They want him there. Bridgewater can throw the ball. He's better than Kyle Allen.
Right, but you got to remember a lot of his production came on a 75-yard touchdown.
He got away from Adam Gase and the Jets, who,
it's kind of like the for and against. He got the 75-yard touchdown, which is... you can't count on that every week, but that's also his thing. He did it with the Jets. Maybe that is his thing. Maybe he's just the boom-bust guy of all time.
So the Jets tried to come in and take our drop from the Browns, but the Browns just came out and continued to do...
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck bad. Before, but they were
this is still the longest drop
that ever sucked.
The Browns are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
If you think that captured how much the Browns sucked, and that's too long. I think it could have been 4 times
I'm not pushing the full panic alarm on the Browns, but the Baker looked awful.
The reason I wanted to transition to the Browns is because on my other I told you so, OBJ disappears. Woof.
But from the reports I saw today, it wasn't because of OBJ. It wasn't necessarily his fault. It was Baker's fault and the Ravens' fault.
I just blame the Browns in general as an organization, going back for years and years. But OBJ, I warned you against him. I didn't take him anywhere.
Fantasy outlook for OBJ isn't
grenade,
but I still think they figure it out. I'm buying OBJ right now if I can.
I would continue to stay away from OBJ.
He went low in drafts. He's going to be even cheaper now. I think you could get him for really not very much.
Ooh, if you picked him up.
Oh, I made a mistake.
If you drafted him high, you're disappointed, but it's not that bad.
And the other guy, I was less sure about this guy being a bust, but he was another one that I have mentioned multiple times that I was not high on. A guy that I avoided, didn't pick up anywhere, was Joe Mixon. So you traded away Joe Mixon last year. I know that you were kicking yourself a little bit when he came on at the end of last year. So this give you a little bit of like...
No, because we're also talking about one game. I'm not going to overreact after one game where there was no preseason. I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to overreact in most circumstances, including Mixon. They were figuring out rookie quarterback. AJ Green hasn't played in like 16 years. They're just figuring it out. It was the first week.
Speaking of AJ Green, tell me how you feel about AJ Green. Let me go. I'll give you my little bit.
Go ahead.
If I picked up AJ Green and I've got him in a league, he, I believe, led their team in reception yards. He had a roughly 10 points something at the end. Right. He was out there. He's not hurt that we've heard of yet. Wait for him to pop up on the questionable.
I don't want to. Please say he's fine.
Did you see the last play of that game where they threw it to AJ Green for the touchdown? He had his feet in, but they called the offensive pass interference.
I was very disappointed.
Missed it by
very disappointed.
Much.
I have been rooting against AJ Green, but
I know you have.
I felt for him there. Again, I think it was a push off, but
Did
it was
you see some
one
of his
those.
catches though. Even the ones he cut out of bounds were like tough catches. He looked good.
He just makes it look harder.
He looked really good.
Hard to catch when your feet don't work.
No, he looked really good.
No, AJ Green, he was out there. He again looks like he could play football. He made more games already than I thought he'd make.
5 for 51 on 9 targets. You got the targets, not as many catches as you'd like, but again, rookie quarterback, first game out there. I'm not going to go crazy yet.
All right, I was just curious.
I was happy that he, like you said, that he played 4 quarters and he doesn't seem to be hurt.
Oh, the other one that I've been screaming from the mountaintops I wanted to bring up, CJ Uzama
with another run.
Outproduces Gronkowski. More fantasy football points. So this is just going to be the
rub it in my face stream.
This is all I want to do. I've been waiting
I see
so
where
long.
We're going here.
It's hard because I was so right about so many things.
So we're going to start out this stream with the first 30 minutes of Mike bashing every installment I've made in this podcast.
I do, however, have one that you told me so that I called you a fool. So we'll get to that after we talk about CJ Uzama.
I'm glad we can cap it with that.
In our joint league, which is a full PPR, Uzama had 8.5 points, Gronk with 3.1.
Okay.
OJ Howard outproduced Gronk. He caught 4 of 6 passes and a touchdown.
I know.
CJ Uzama caught 4 of 5 and was on the field for 72% of snaps.
Sterling Shepard with a first down. Giants are making a run here. They might get a score if you have if you have anybody on that roster.
Uzama with 45 yards. He finished just behind George Kittle, who got hurt. But he finished ahead of some of the bigger name guys. So why don't you talk about how great CJ Uzama is while I look up exactly who he finished ahead of?
I don't want to talk about CJ Uzama, but I just want to mention I saw a couple reports of like the Seahawks offense. Full-blown committee, basically, even though Carson had the most production. We had, like you said, the Blake Jarwin injury. Is there anybody else in that tight end spot you want? Even with Kittle misses a few weeks, do you think the 49ers tight end spot is just valuable enough that you can take anybody there? Or is it Kittle?
We got the old guy who was always hurt. Is it Reed?
Okay.
Yeah. So Jordan Reed. They did sign Jordan Reed this offseason. When he has been healthy, one game has been good at football. Last year he wasn't great even when he was around, but he's just been battling injuries. And who caught it?
God. Oh. That is a big man. A big man. What a terrible throw by the quarterback.
Yes, the Steelers pick it off. It's Hayward with the interception.
Man, that ball was just floating up there for a good 3
You love
seconds.
to see a big guy interception. First you get the fat guy spike. Then you get the
ball
fat
was so
guy
heavy
down.
he fell down. Oh, my
Man,
goodness.
if you're a lineman, you get the ball, you just fall on it.
So no score if you're a Saquon owner or Shepard owner. Sorry. Next time. All right. What other injury news did we have? Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack goes down season-long ACL. That's rough, but Jonathan Taylor is going to fit into that role. If you're a JT owner, I'm so pumped.
Yeah, you got to be excited if you got Jonathan Taylor.
What stat are you still looking up?
CJ Uzomah finishes with more fantasy football points than Jack Doyle, than Tyler Higbee, than Hayden Hurst, than Chris Herndon, than Mike Gesicki. I was telling you. I tried to tell you.
He only had 8 points. I wouldn't be
rostered
my
nowhere
chest so much with only 8 points.
Again, and that is in full PPR, but he had 45 yards.
8 points in full PPR. That's even worse.
I'll go back to why I'm telling you. It's just because. Let's say that you realize you took Gronk, you thought he'd be everything that you hoped he would be, and you're like, oh no.
It's fine.
Yikes.
Fine. It's NIU. That throw made me feel better about Trubisky. Mike, talk more about Uzomah. Maybe some college measurables. Let's not get any more Uzomah hype in here.
Since the chat has brought up Mitchell Trubisky, let's just pivot to that. So again, being from Chicago, we're Bears fans.
Yeah,
we can continue to be Bears fans because the Lions.
For some reason.
I saw an article. It was by Bernstein, who's one of the guys on the Score, a local news show that covers the Chicago sports, and he said, I think this is roughly the quote. The Bears didn't just look into the abyss. They were down there hanging out, and then the Detroit Lions handed them a stepladder. Like, the only thing that could save the Bears was just the Lions being more Bears than the Bears.
Yeah. No, that was the weirdest change of events I've ever seen. We're like I said, we were telling you to turn it off. We weren't even going to watch it anymore. We were done.
So, to Mitch's credit,
just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself.
That is a long drop as well.
So is Mitch redeemed?
No.
I'll agree.
Put Foles in.
Are you calling for Foles already?
Yeah.
All right.
I want to see Foles. We can't turn this into a Bears podcast, but I got 30 more seconds.
I also want to see Foles. But again, Mitch, if you win, it's kind of like Tyrod Taylor. Like, they won, so you can play another game. Like, you earned one more game by somehow winning this game, even though you were terrible. Want
Daniel Jones and Trubisky in the same. No, we can't have it. I don't like that. That's bad. That's bad football. There's Juju. There you go.
All right, Juju. Okay. Keep it going.
All right.
Keep it going. If I can win 4 out of 5, I will be very disappointed in myself, but at least I'll be able to live with myself.
Oh, my goodness. All right, what other news you got for us?
Okay, so
what else do you have to rub in my face?
Let's talk about what Nick was correct about. There was a podcast that we did earlier as we were gearing up for the football season.
I wouldn't say right yet. Again, this is one game, so go ahead.
Again, right for the first game is what we're going with. And if you're right for the first game, you're right for all. If you won your first matchup, you win the championship.
It's all about week 1.
Now we can all stop paying attention.
We'll see you next season.
No, keep tuning in. So we're going to keep getting you through this season. There's a long season, a lot to go.
That's Snell. Oh, he fumbled it.
No, don't.
He fumbled it.
Snell. Uh-oh. I think the Steelers recovered.
Uh-oh. All right. We'll see.
All right.
Let me know how I won.
So, you called when we were talking about Michael Thomas.
Yep.
He said Michael Thomas disappears for just a number of games a year. And I said, no way. Michael Thomas is great. He broke records last year.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Michael Thomas, in some formats, ended up with just over 3 points this past week.
Did Gronk have more points
than
Michael Thomas?
In a Saints win, I believe Gronk was tied or just like 0.1 less than Michael Thomas. Yeah. So take your victory laps, sir.
I told you.
Who saw that come? Nobody had that.
Again, it's week 1. It's week 1. We're overreacting to week 1.
Also, he comes up at
but it happens. Like, it does happen.
Near the last play of the game, if not the last play of the game, he gets rolled up on and apparently has an ankle sprain. I watched the video of it happening. It didn't look brutal. It's probably more like when you roll your ankle. Again, I don't want to
speculate too much,
but it didn't look brutal like some guys when they get rolled up on where you really see something twist bad.
We say he's going to try and play through it.
Again, and it looked like from what I saw that he likely will be able to play through it.
Okay.
But again, don't keep checking up on these guys. But Michael Thomas, he did. He disappeared. Drew Brees wasn't great, but again, they won the game.
Drew Brees was not very good.
Emmanuel Sanders, are you trading Michael Thomas for Emmanuel Sanders yet?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
not quite.
That's a tip.
That's where
Don't
the trading
do that.
stops.
If you have a guy that you took in the first 4 rounds and they just laid an egg, except for maybe Le'Veon Bell, who I do have. We can talk about him. Yeah, don't trade him away. For the most part. Maybe if you could do a lateral move where you're trading like I've heard a couple of the experts that I listened to talking about Chris Carson had I think he had 6 rush attempts in this game, and that worries him a little bit. But I think that the game script in this game was goofy.
Well, so he only had 45% of the snap share.
Yeah, but again, he had 2 touchdowns. He looked good when he was out there.
They used 2 other running backs.
I'm not overly worried about him. I think that when they need him more,
they'll use him more. You didn't get any points in the second half, though.
They didn't need him.
It didn't need him, but...
So, again, if you can keep that guy like that who's coming off a hip injury, if you can keep him fresh, you're going to need him. There's going to be games where they pound it with Chris Carson, I still believe.
Is this Deontay Johnson again? Man.
Deontay had some hype. He's had a little bit of injury, though. Missed a couple of practices, so...
Nice. All right.
He is out there.
But, yeah, the Chris Carson thing, again, you're happy with the production, but it worries me a little
Would you try to trade Chris Carson away for Jonathan Taylor? That was a question I heard in an earlier podcast.
Honestly, I probably would.
I don't think I would. I like Chris Carson. He's been one of my guys. I think that they're going to run the ball more on other games. Again, it was a fluky game script. They could do whatever they wanted. They were just passing at will. The guys were wide open. Russell Wilson was on fire.
Deontay Johnson's just sitting over there, just waiting for a ball.
Oh, Big Ben gets sacked.
NIU says, thoughts on Skinny Ben so far? Skinny Ben, he kind of looks a lot like Fat Ben. Just, the same.
Yeah, it's like me when I lost 30 pounds. I was still fat.
If you wouldn't have said anything, I would still think it's just Ben Roethlisberger. I still don't want to be in a bathroom.
No, he's not stick thin. He's
no,
not that CD Lamb kind of build. So let's talk about CD Lamb.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about some of the rookies and rookies that impressed and rookies that kind of didn't live up to the hype train. Yeah. So CD Lamb was out there. He was good. He had a nice crossing route where he looked really quick on. It was, again, for a guy I don't like, it was OBJ-esque, like the speed and just the smoothness that he ran across the field and caught the ball.
Yeah.
They did have one play where he was just short of the first down, but really the defender on that play made a really, really good play, read it well, made it just short of the line. The Cowboys, similar to the Browns, still are who they were last year. A lot of teams showing up just being who they were.
But you got to think the Cowboys would be able to turn around.
I think Cowboys fans don't panic. I know
the first ones that would have to be like, it's week 1, no preseason, we're getting our feet wet. But you need a better start than that. You got to win soon.
I don't know that you need, again, there's a lot. It's a first game. It just felt very Cowboys. It felt like a game they should win that they lost. I think it was somewhere around 6 to 8 games last year that they lost by 1 score. You got to win those games. You got to find a way. And if Dak wants to get paid, that might be the reason that they haven't paid it out to Dak. They
always seem to give up big plays late. They just can't hold on for the entire game.
You got to play the whole game.
Got to play the whole game. All right, what other rookies you got?
All right, we got Jerry Jeudy going in the late game tonight. So, Cortland Sutton, do we know officially if he's in or out yet?
I haven't actually seen.
Let me try and check. You check on that. But Jerry Jeudy, again, he was another guy, a lot of talent, highly touted coming out of college. Goes to Denver, who you don't expect them to have a huge passing attack. But Cortland Sutton, his shoulder's banged up. We're checking on if he's going to go tonight. If he doesn't go, I think he could be a sneaky play, especially if he had something go wrong and you have to pivot. He's going to be probably one of the last usable pieces that you may be able to grab. A lot of places they probably got drafted, but if you're playing in a league where people aren't as aware of the rookies.
He is inactive tonight.
All right, so Cortland's out. I'd say you can fire up Jerry Jeudy.
I have Fant tonight. I mean, if you're waiting until this game, you're already going to run these guys.
Maybe not Jeudy, but again, if you had, let's say you had Sutton and you're looking for a guy, Judy's going to be the guy that you want to pick up. You don't want to go with any of those other receivers on that team.
But if Jeudy was drafted, do you want to start KJ Hamler?
I don't know if Hamler's active. Hamler was coming off of an injury, but no, I'm starting Jeudy over Hamler. I'm starting him over Tim Patrick.
Yeah, no, I would think so as well. But I'm just saying
and I'd start him over if you had a flex. I'd start him over Fant if that was something that you were thinking about. Tulane's very own Darnell Mooney. So you would
start Jerry Jeudy over Fant. Yeah, I guess with this news you would. Yeah, that makes sense.
Darnell Mooney, Fant could definitely have a good game
Mooney.
Too.
That's not going to be a thing.
So Mooney played for the Bears, had some receptions, looked good. We had a league mate of ours say Mooney's for real. I'm not ready to declare that yet.
Not quite there yet.
But yeah, it's good to see a guy on the Bears go out and just actually make some plays, especially as a rookie. We've had, especially on the offensive side, a lot of rookies that just did not hit.
Right.
Looking at you, Mitch.
We've got a whim score.
Mitch passed out some biscuits at the end of that game, and they made it by the skin of their teeth.
Football game.
So my rage is slated for a moment, but yeah, I think Mitch is on the thinnest of ice, the shortest of leash. It's not even a leash. It's just
the first down.
It's just Chicago holding onto the collar. There is no leash.
KJ's out.
All right, thank you. Yeah, KJ out. That's what I thought. So yeah, Judy should be the man. Like, I know he's a rookie, but I'd fire him up.
We're worried about Kittle though, right? As far as injuries go,
it looks like Kittle's not going to be out. It's not like ending of
maybe a few weeks,
not a season ender. But yeah, you drafted him high. You want him to play for sure. He didn't get you the points that you needed. He didn't goose you.
They didn't put him on the IR either. If with a 3 week or 3 week.
I think they're hopeful for 1, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, you're concerned if you're looking to pivot. Hawkinson had a really good week for the Lions. He might be out there.
So
Chris
tonight,
Herndon,
if you're looking for tonight, you want Jerry Jeudy or Corey Davis for the last game?
I want Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
Yeah, Corey Davis, not for me.
Not for you?
No, thank you.
That's fun. I just want to see
I
where you're at.
did play Juju over A.J. Brown, which was a decision I had to make, so we'll see if that pays off for me. Let's see. Other guys, let's talk. How about you talk about Henry Ruggs while I glance at my scores over here?
Henry Ruggs is – you're happy that he had some production in the first game, but the injury scares me. The fact that he went out there for the second half and still played through it, even though he wasn't a part of the offense, is encouraging. But yeah, no, I like that they got him a long pass, and he still got me 3 catches for 55 yards. So he didn't really stink you too bad, but you want more involvement, I would say. I don't think we really saw that slot production, that Landry style production that we were kind of hoping for right out of the gate. But it's encouraging to see anything.
All right, I need 7.16 more points between Juju, TJ Watt, and Logan Ryan. So TJ Watt and Logan Ryan are defensive players, IDP league that we're playing in here. Watt with 4 points and Logan with 3.5. Logan was one that he came over to New York. They signed him. He was a cornerback, but I think they're going to try and play him at safety a little bit.
Right.
Use him on some blitzes. I took a chance. I was just trying to my other guy that I had drafted ended up being out for this week, so he was my pivot. Come on, guys.
Pivot.
Juju, just get a touchdown. Juju's got 17.1 points. I was concerned about Juju. Didn't know if he would come out, and there's a lot of reasons to be concerned about him. With Big Ben coming back, he had an injury last year. He had some games that weren't great last year, so good to see Juju out there and getting points.
Yeah, I think with Roethlisberger back, it's going to make all the difference.
So he's caught 100% of his targets. He's 5 for 5 with 61 reception yards and a touchdown. Give me one more touchdown, Juju. Juju for you.
Greedy. You're so greedy.
I just need a couple more points.
Okay, so some of the
points.
studs. We got quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers.
Mitch Trubisky on the list.
In our point format, Aaron Rodgers was the leading scorer of the week, which is disgusting. Is Aaron Rodgers good now? Is he good again?
No, don't let it be real.
Pick up Aaron Rodgers.
And by messed up, we mean you did really good. Like nobody saw it coming. I actually heard a stat today that he was starting like 31% of leagues.
I was almost there, but he is 92% rostered according to Yahoo. So
all right, well again, that is after the.
That's so yeah. What do you mean that's after?
He might have been on waivers. Like
no, that was rostered before the game.
I got you.
Game time. Look at this. We can go down 92% rostered, 100, 197. The first rostered player under 97 is like number 8, Mitch Trubisky,
with 3%
rostered.
Oh,
that is awesome. And then Devontae Adams went nuts.
Devontae Adams,
he went absolutely bonkers.
I haven't had the time yet, but I want to go back and just find one on YouTube with just all his receptions for the day.
Yeah, it would take you 15 minutes to go through the receptions. So he was 7 targets, 14 receptions, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is a game. I love to see all the targets, and this is kind of what you're expecting with what we thought was no other receivers really on the team. But Lazard really had a great game as well.
And who started him in their co-managed league?
You did.
Right here? We did.
Right.
Great success.
You made the call, though.
I think we both knew that we were going to play Devontae.
Devontae, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, who were you talking about?
For sure. No, I thought you were talking about the other.
We did make the wrong call on the tight end. We went with Higbee instead of Mr. Glass.
Yeah, but I don't think it matters.
So Hunter Henry actually had a pretty decent tight end.
I think we still won by 50 in that league.
We did a good job.
Le'Veon Bell out multiple weeks.
All right, Saquon, I need much, much more from you. I drafted you.
I don't want to gloss
over
over
pick
that.
in the league.
Le'Veon Bell owners, if you drafted him in the first 4 rounds, you're upset. I get it, and it's probably only going to go downhill from here. Wouldn't you try and cut bait?
So, if you can trade him for, I'm trying to think of what your trade would be. Like,
I've already brought him down to, even on a good week, he's going to be mid-low RB2, I think. That team is so bad.
I think if they, again, because they're in the division with Miami, if they can play Miami, and if he can come back after like 2 or 3 weeks and be healthy, he'll still get the volume. You'll still be able to use him. He could probably be good. They were using him in the receiving game. They threw him the ball a couple times.
Yeah.
I think, again, if he didn't have the injury, he would have put up, 10 to 12 points, and you don't feel devastated like you do now.
No, but it's still, you're not thrilled. I'm very worried about Le'Veon Bell, and I would, if you can still get rid of him for 75% of value, I would. You're
not trying to trade for him at all. Like, you wouldn't give up David Montgomery if you got him late. You wouldn't give up Antonio Gibson.
That's about the right point, David Montgomery, which you could have gotten in, what did we get him in, the 7th or 8th round, I think?
Yeah, he dropped low in some because of the groin injury.
Yeah, so
you're was out there and looked decent. He wasn't getting all the volume that he probably would have if he was fully healthy, but he was out there doing all right.
Banjo, Chance's case gets fired before he comes back. So we started talking about Le'Veon Bell, and Banjo comes back. Go figure.
Gase, I got you. So Gase is the worst, especially for fantasy football.
I think Gase could be fired before Le'Veon Bell plays another game for the Jets. But go ahead.
They were just awful.
They were brutal.
They
were brutal.
I talked about it, but
the entire offense was. Well, honestly, the defense had the biggest showing.
Usually we reserve this for the Browns, but the Jets.
That team sure did suck last night.
Okay, I'm talking through this one. This is such a long drop. Sorry to all of our viewers have to sit through the whole thing.
Of all the teams that played, they looked the worst, correct?
They're so bad that I don't even want to talk about them anymore. Let's move on.
Chat, let me know. Did anybody look worse than the Jets first week? The Colts definitely stumbled over themselves and blew it against Jacksonville. But Jacksonville came out and they were game, man.
The Colts screwed up, but I think they'll be fine.
The mustache magic.
That's true.
You want to ride that to the playoffs.
That's true.
Right?
I think the Jags are just better than we thought. The Dolphins, the Dolphins were pretty bad.
My guy, Laviska Shenault, he has a touchdown. He ended up with around 11 points. So I didn't get a ton of volume, but I liked it. Again, I like the Colts, too.
We might talk about Laviska a little later.
My cousins are from Indy. I liked Peyton Manning a lot. I liked Andrew Luck. Rivers,
You ever see one by itself? Not for me.
This is not my kind of guy.
No, I don't hate Rivers. I like that he's got 1,000 kids. I think he's
the perfect streaming candidate. He's going to be fine. What about Josh Allen?
Josh Allen was a stud, man. Had some fumbles. But
Josh Allen is like what you thought you were getting with Trubisky.
I don't know how to describe Josh Allen. Like,
put Tua in. I'm ready to see Tua. I wouldn't mind it.
Like, I don't know what necessarily you have to gain from putting him in there. If you put in Tua, is he going to lead you to the playoffs with that team?
Well,
I think they're still in a rebuilding year. You fire up Fitzmagic, you have some fun, you let Tua get healed up.
How about Lamar Jackson, though? 7 attempts,
He's a stud.
45 yards rushing, 3 touchdown passes. That's pretty good. Another really good performance.
So that is one. I have also, besides the I told you so's, you have the I made a mistake. So I was wrong about Mark Andrews. We're just based on the first week. I didn't think he was going to be good, but he was out there. I think he had 2 touchdowns. The one that he made was a really athletic catch. Yeah. I thought they'd use some other guys, but they did. They used Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown having a day.
Again, I don't think it was on a ton of targets, but again, he gets yards. He gets good targets.
And then let's talk about another rookie in that game, Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins with 2 touchdowns. Not a ton of rushing yards, but he was getting those goal line carries.
The amount of attempts scares me with him.
Should the Ingram owners panic?
I wouldn't panic about week 1 with Ingram. That team's going to run it so much, and they score enough where there can be enough fantasy-relevant players to get by. It's not the sign you wanted to see week 1, but I'm not panicking yet.
So that is exactly why I avoided taking Ingram anywhere. I was worried that this exact thing would happen. So
you're going to try and focus in on him later?
It's just, what do you do? Like, you're just worried about starting him if he has those games where he's not the goal line guy because Dobbins is there.
No,
so you got to pick and choose your spots a little bit. In a good matchup, though, he's going to get into the end zone a couple times. It's just going to be a little bit tough to guess when those are going to be. If he had a big game next week, I might look to pivot off of him. And I don't know that I'd do it, but again, that Lev Bell owner is going to be shell-shocked. They're going to be wanting to get rid of that guy. They're going to be feeling like they made a mistake.
If you can pay 40% of what he was before, then maybe.
But it's not insane to think that that's a trade that could get made. I don't know who it will work out better for. It could go either way.
That Le'Veon would get traded to somebody
else? Ingram for Lev Bell.
Oh, Ingram for Lev Bell.
But that's also a good point. Lev Bell could get traded. If Gase does stay there, he's made it kind of clear that he's not, a Lev Bell guy, that he didn't want him. And that's the thing that could happen. He's on the last year of his contract there. If the Jets know they're not going to make a run and another team, let's say their guy goes down, I am not a huge fan of Lev Bell, the guy. I don't know that I necessarily want him in my locker room if I have a team, but the Bears could be a spot for him.
Deontay Johnson with another catch. How many catches does he have tonight? I got to check this.
Yeah, he's showing up. You can see him out there. He looks quick.
He looks good. He looks really good. Good route there. Yeah, no, they're looking sharp right now. Juju Smith-Schuster, 5 receptions for, 61 yards and a touchdown.
I wonder if that's my guy that got credit for the tackle there.
Deontay Johnson, 5 for 46 on 9 targets. So he's got 4 more targets than Juju does.
He's on a lot of teams.
Yeah, but he's got a fumble.
Yeah, that'll hurt you.
Connor, 6 for 9 for 1.5. Benny Snell's got 13 carries to Connor's 6. That's brutal. So if you're a Connor owner, you're full panicking now, right? We're not even done with the first game.
I have Snell in a dynasty. They might realize, that Connor, the big concern on him was holding up. So if he can't hold up, if you can get Snell in there to just take some of those bruising carries that he doesn't get bashed up, that's not bad strategically for their team.
It won't be the worst, but I don't know. It's gonna be strange. I just don't know anything about Snell really. I mean, I just don't know what his background is.
Snell doesn't have great hands. He was a mid-level draft pick for them. Played last year, was good, not great. A physical runner, but he'd be the perfect kind of guy to just take some of those, wear the defense down carries.
They could really use Le'Veon Bell.
I don't think that's going to ever happen.
If Le'Veon Bell was
again
on the Steelers still, I know it's not going to happen.
I don't know that things ended on the best of terms there.
They didn't, but if you put Le'Veon Bell back on that offense, he would be insane again. I have no doubt. No doubt.
I think Le'Veon Bell.
We're on to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati.
Could be. All right, Josh Jacobs, he had a great game.
Thanks again, Andy from the Footballers, for turning me on to Josh Jacobs.
25 rushing attempts for 93 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he also had 6 targets, which he caught 4 of for 46. So getting it done in all facets, and that's exciting. We got Kyler Murray with a pretty good game. Adam Thielen showing back up, 6 catches for 110 and 2 touchdowns. And a 2-point conversion.
So Thielen was non-existent for a good chunk of that game, and it just got into a point where Green Bay, because Ron was throwing bombs, they had to go into catch-up mode. Yeah. And when they do have to go into that mode where they have to throw, Thielen is going to be the guy. He's the first read for sure.
And you get chunky yardage. You get 20
I just want to say about Josh Jacobs, although he was great, he was against Carolina, who is in a kind of a defensive rebuild right now. So
I don't know.
Maybe, maybe temper your expectations. This might not be every week. He might not be the next Christian McCaffrey.
Probably not the next Christian McCaffrey. Patty Mahomes got it done this week still. Gardner Minshew,
Patty's out there. Yeah, good, solid.
But Minshew was still only 100.
Minshew mania, the
173 passing yards, but he still had 3 touchdowns. That's how you get it done.
Florida man.
If you were worried at all about DeAndre Hopkins, you got to feel okay now, right? It's as good of a first week as you can get, and he just missed out on that touchdown on the 1-yard line. So it could have been 14 receptions for 151 yards and a touchdown. Or it would have been 152 yards. But,
got a big run in the Steelers game. Is that my guy Snell?
It's still Snell.
All right. Ooh, that's
He's
Snell.
getting some action. All right. And we have a little wager on, I think we have the the Steelers in this game at -6 points. So hopefully this score line stays for the rest of the game. That would be very productive.
Hey, there's a chance.
It is. It is. What about
throw it to Juju for a touchdown?
What about Tom Brady? How do you feel about Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, I think that I'm going to give him all the benefit of the doubt. Again, he's coming to a new team, weird off season, everything. They're figuring it out. I think that he's the kind of guy. Tom's one not to panic.
Banjo, the Murray Hopkins stack helped save my week. Me too. I was in bad shape, and that made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, Murray looked pretty good out there. He was getting to Hopkins. He was targeting him. You got to feel good about Hopkins if you're the Hopkins owner. Again, there was some concern about the volume, but all the volume was there. I don't know if it'll stay that way, but
you wish you had the score.
You're encouraged if you got him.
They threw it a lot.
And Kyler had a nice run at the end of the game that padded his stats a little bit, ran in a touchdown. Looked really athletic doing it, moved well.
Yeah, Kyler had 91 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground.
Yeah, his rushing floor is nice.
That's phenomenal. If he can get it going a little bit more in the passing game, which of his 230 passing yards, DeAndre Hopkins caught 151 of them.
Forgot to put that on the I told you so's. I called that game the Cardinals to beat the San Francisco 49ers. So
well done.
There's a feather in my cap.
Golf clap.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Cam Newton was okay. Chris McCaffrey was good. All right. Nyheim Hines. Let's talk about Nyheim Hines.
Winning.
What do you mean winning?
Hines. Hines. Hines went out there and just crushed it, man. And then Marlon Mack goes down. Waiver wire pickups, Target and Hines.
Let's just talk about
high on my list.
Let's talk about some waivers here for a second.
Let's do it.
So who are you taking first overall if you have the first overall pick? Are you blowing it week 1 and getting Hines or James Robinson, or who are you trying to get if you have the first overall?
So I'm going to buy into Hines. I'm not saying this year's Eckler, but the path is similar of, they got Rivers, who was just checking it down, loves to throw it to the running backs. They wanted to get Hines involved even before they wanted to get Taylor involved. It looked like he was playing. He was out there. He got that long run before Marlon Mack went down.
When JT came in, though, he had 6 catches on 7 targets for like 67 yards.
So JT can catch a little, but he doesn't have great hands. He doesn't have the hands that Hines
But they threw it
does.
to him 7 times. Why wouldn't they just have Nyheim Hines in for those receptions?
I think Hines is going to be out there. I think he's going to get play. He looked good. He made big plays.
Right.
I think they want to use him.
I think if you thought Nyheim Hines...
I think they could both produce.
Right. I think if you thought Marlon Mack and JT were both going to be startable assets, then you probably could be okay with Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor.
That's how I feel. I feel like if Mack was there, I like Hines a lot less. But him going down, because Taylor's he's a rookie.
Panicking. We were panicking hard after basically the first quarter when JT had no touches.
I don't have him anywhere. But
that was disconcerting to me.
Yeah, you and my brother were both ready to hit the panic button. And I thought it might take a while.
Hyperventilating, didn't feel well, and then it all came around. Then it was okay.
So we've got a couple rookies right now, again, with Edwards-Helaire.
Right.
Because Damian Williams held out. It's like just opened the door. And now Marlon Mack gets injured, and it just opens the door. And these guys are going to go in there, and they're going to get a lot of play faster than they would have had those things not happen.
JT's going to be really good, I think.
He'd be a guy that if you could trade for to people who don't know kind of the hype on him, if they're not familiar with the rookies as much, and they've got him, I think he's a great buy, and if you don't get him now, I don't know that you're going to be able to get him. Also, the thing that could help you get him now is that the Colts lost. So
I don't know that that's
people could get again. They lost to Jacksonville. If you can sell that in your narrative when you're trying to get this guys, hey, the Colts not looking great. I don't know. Their lead guy Matt goes down. This Taylor guy, he's a rookie. I don't know if he's going to be any good. you gotta spin the yarn.
He didn't have an insane first game, but I don't think you can buy low.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show.
I don't think you can buy low yet
on
JT.
Show.
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think you're going to be able to buy any lower than now.
No, I would agree.
So
I would agree with that sentiment.
So that's
if
one.
If you're going to own him, try and get
the Chris Carson. That was one that I heard earlier that I've got Chris Carson. I was like,
I'd probably rather have JT.
Or I'm trying to think of other guys in that range who had like a big week that maybe you think won't, it wasn't real that you don't buy. You're not going to be able to get him for some of those lower, like the Robbie Anderson guys that blew up like that. They'll see through that. It's going to have to be somebody who's got a name.
Let's go back to waivers though.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we got Nyheim Hines. What about James Robinson? I saw a stat that James Robinson was the only running back to get every rushing share.
And he still didn't have that many points is the thing. Like, he wasn't great.
No, he was good, though.
Let me look up the team where I had him on my bench, because I did grab him when I had one of my guys. I threw him in the IR, and I picked him up just to see what it looked like.
You're definitely really happy with the output.
So Robinson ends up with 16 rush attempts for 62 yards, 1 target for 1 reception. That's what he caught his 1 target. And he had 9.5 points.
Right, but he had a lot of...
in a half PPR league. So
right, he didn't get any targets. He had one catch.
Is his volume ever going to be better than that? Like, is he going to...
I mean, you would think that their offense, which they've traded away all their defensive players, so the offense is going to have a lot of garbage time, which probably wouldn't suit the running back position. But he's still, in a close game, he's still got all the target or all the shares, every single one.
I think it happened.
I don't.
We gotta look.
What happened?
I think there might have been a Juju touchdown.
What do you mean?
It might have won me the league.
This is third.
Unless this was an old update, it just came across my phone.
That's an old update. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Are we right in time with it?
Somebody needs to give us this deed.
So yeah, I think Murray and Hopkins. You like to see the two of them, and you feel like the two of them are going to be good for each other. That's a good pairing.
Right. All right. So would you rather have Nyheim Hines or Robinson if you have the first waiver?
In a PPR Hines, in a standard Robinson, and in a half. Depends on my team. I might take my shot on Robinson.
Right now, Nyheim Hines is the biggest trending up. What about Malcolm Brown?
So that was when I made a mistake. I did drop Malcolm Brown in our Dynasty League. I thought he was going to be the third wide receiver or third running back on that team.
He was the hotness last year, right?
He was not the hotness last year.
Well, I mean, in last year's Dynasty rookie draft, he was highly sought after. He was a first-round pick.
No, Darrell Henderson.
Oh, okay.
So Darrell Henderson that's the order I had him in. It was Cam Akers, the new rookie. I thought he'd be the main guy, get the vast majority of the touches. I thought Darrell Henderson would be the second guy, come in for some passing work, play the relief role, and Malcolm Brown would be the third guy that would get out there. But he went out there. He was great. He did really good on the goal line. My worry was in the league that I had him in, we select the draft order for the next year because it's Dynasty based on how many points not just your starting guys had, but your entire bench plus your starters, to kind of give every team a feel for who has the best team overall. So I didn't want a guy who was going to come in like every couple weeks and get a touchdown here, a touchdown there. You wouldn't know when it was coming. You wouldn't want to play him. So that was my fear.
So you're already playing for the bottom 6 in our league.
Yeah.
I see.
If it's going to happen, I want the top pick.
Right.
But Malcolm Brown, man, he came out, looked good, played. I still think that as the season goes on, it might, shift that way where he becomes the third guy on that team. But, man, if he keeps playing like that, it's going to be hard to not give him the goal line touches.
You would think.
So, good for Malcolm Brown.
What about Myles Gaskin? Running back for
no, thank you. No Miami. So let's talk about our drops. Are there any guys?
Almost have a strict no Miami policy.
Any guys you drop? Any guys on your team that you drafted that you have already dropped? I've dropped 2 guys.
I haven't auto dropped anybody yet, but Marlon Mack is going to be quickly released.
So Matt Breida was one. I thought maybe he'd get the passing work in Miami, maybe get the volume drop. I'm done with him. I don't want him.
Just straight done.
Gaskin had more touches. Howard got the goal line. I'm just done.
I get it.
I took a chance. I hoped, and maybe I'll regret it, but I don't think I will. Miami was bad. The other one that I dropped was Chris Thompson, the receiving back for the Jaguars.
He just wasn't a thing at all either.
Nope. Maybe there's a different game script where they got to throw it more, but he had like 2 points. I'm out. He had no rushing attempts, 2 passes to him. He caught him, but I'm out. He's a guy that gets hurt too, so I went on to greener pastures, picked up some of these guys that we've talked about. And then there's one that I was on the fence about. I have Brandon Cooks, and he wasn't great. I know that a lot of people on the Yahoo app, it'll show you like who's trending is being dropped, and he was the one that was trending being dropped. I'm actually going to hold on to him. I want to see the Texans play against some other teams. I want to see him a little bit healthier. I still think that he's the number 2 on that team. Cobb did not impress, did not show up, did not get a lot of targets.
Nothing.
Cooks had some catches, even though he had a quad banged up. If it was a concussion, I might have dropped him just because he's got a history of the concussion stuff. But leg injury that he came back and played through, I'll give him a little more time.
All right, so a couple other highlights on here. We got Josh Kelly from the Chargers, Adrian Peterson with the Lions, Scott Miller with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Robbie Anderson here is a hot pickup.
Robbie.
Dallas Goedert, Russell Gage, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling from the Packers, and Peyton Barber. Is there anybody here
Pick one. Who you want? Who's your guy? Who do you like?
Who do I like? I think if I have the first overall waiver priority and I need to get, I don't know, if I need to run, if I have to pick a position and I need a running back, then yeah, I'd probably take James Robinson honestly over Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. A show.
Just because he'll get all the work most likely the whole season. But otherwise, I think Dallas Goedert is the only one that interests me.
Oh, Goddard, man. Ertz got a touchdown, so I'm not just as sad as I could be, but it's a concern when you have one tight end that you hope is the guy, and then the other one comes out and has a monster game.
Yeah, I just don't think.
Was he
Robbie
the top
Anderson,
tight end on the week? He might have
Dallas
been the
Goedert?
number one.
Let me check.
Yeah, let's get a quick check, but I believe I saw that earlier when I was looking. There he
Yep,
is.
Dallas Goedert beat out Mark Andrews by 2 points in our league format. And then number 3 here is Hawkinson.
The Hawkinson. What format do you have this one in?
This is just our Yahoo.
Okay.
So it's 6 point full PPR.
Gotcha.
Couple bonuses for over 100 yards and whatnot, but nothing crazy.
Joku up there, but he just got placed on the IR, so good game
He
for
wasn't.
you.
He wasn't supposed to catch a touchdown. and he
David.
did, so they cut him. But I don't think I'm rushing to pick up Myles Gaskin. I don't think I'm rushing to pick up Peyton Barber, MVS. Russell Gage is interesting, but I don't think you can add another receiving option there and feel comfortable with it. I'm not wasting my waiver priority on him. Dallas Goedert, if you need a tight end, this is one that I wouldn't waste my number 1 waiver priority on it, but if I'm further down the list, and I would take Dallas Goedert.
So if you got Goddard and Hawkinson out there on the waivers, you going Goddard or you going Hawkinson?
If I have Goddard and Hawkinson out there, I'd take Hawk, but I think he's probably owned already.
Hawkinson likely got a bump because Kenny G was out for that game.
Yeah, I hope they keep using him, but we might just get, first week Hawkinson again. But yeah, I'm not rushing out. Are you rushing out to get Adrian Peterson after, 93 rushing yards?
It's the most, oh, man. It's the most Matt Patricia-y kind of thing. And I knew Swift, I grabbed in one league, and I was like, Patricia's going to just screw up this guy's value. Man, Swift with the drop at the end of the Bears game.
So that's the only thing going in his favor is they didn't really use Kerryon Johnson, and Swift dropped the ball in the end zone for the loss. They would have won the game.
So when I blurted out earlier, I'm going to jump back. Juju did get his second touchdown, and he did win me the keeper league that Nick and I are in together. Man. So thank you, Juju. Glad I got you on accident in our auction draft.
Gosh, you didn't get him on accident. You just fell into your lap.
It was one of those, it's like, people pay more than this, and then they didn't.
And they did not.
And I didn't make a mistake. Yeah, I think that just Juju winning this week, that's super.
There it is. So 4 minutes left.
Begin today by apologizing on behalf of you to me.
Oh my goodness.
And that apology is not accepted.
All right, so
long
let's go back to Swift. Let's talk about how Swift just gifted Chicago.
Yeah, no, he blew it at the end. There's Daniel Jones throwing into the grass again.
The tiniest bit of me felt bad for him for 1 second, and then I was just like, screw the Lions, Bears win. Hooray!
As a fantasy owner, I immediately went, oh, it's not what you want to see. Really, the shining moment of the game, you have the rookie. He can win it for the team, and really have the entire fan base just accept him in right away.
You blew it!
And you drop it. Not only did he drop it, it was one where he had it, he knew he had it, so he turned, and it fell out.
Oh, man, Lions.
Wow. I feel terrible for him, and I feel
sorry,
great
not
with the Bears
sorry.
win. The thing about the Bears win is I don't feel more confident in the Bears after.
No, it was not an inspired win. You feel awful.
It was the best or worst win I've ever seen.
But at least the Lions feel worse. And then the Vikings got to feel terrible.
I don't know if anybody saw the
hate to watch the Packers win, but love to watch the Vikings lose.
I don't know if anybody saw the Lions subreddit, but they were in full meltdown. Just full meltdown. Oh, my goodness. They were just memeing everywhere. It was good.
Adrian Peterson, though, like, what?
I know.
What are you doing? And he looked good. He looked
really
real good. He was
Adrian Peterson
gashing
against
the Bears, who are not, not a defense that you take lightly.
I know,
that people usually just smash.
Adrian Peterson takes the Bears defense lightly.
Khalil Mack kind of disappeared.
Some reason. He's done it his
I
whole
had
career.
Khalil in our IDP league, and I ended up pivoting because he had a little bit of a knee thing, and I just had a bad feeling about him. And I went with Bentley, the new middle linebacker for the Patriots, who had like 6 points, but Khalil had like 2.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's go over some stinkers here.
Let's talk about one more guy who blew it. Did you watch after AJ Green came down with the touchdown but got the push off? The Bengals kicker kick it. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't faking the leg injury, but like hurt his calf.
Blew it. He's out now, right? He blew his calf out.
Yeah, So here's the thing with that one. Kickers are not real people, right? But you still feel bad for them. But
you can't say
who you feel bad for is Joe Burrow.
Bears are on pace for 16-0.
Burrow went out.
Thanks for that, NIU.
Played one more, and that's a winning streak. Yeah. Played behind a bad line, looked good, ran in the touchdown, showed a lot of poise, a lot of heart for a rookie. Lived up to the first-round pick, I would say, just from the eye test. Did everything he needed to do to get him into like really good field goal position to tie that game up. You feel like he was going to win that game if he got another chance in overtime, and the kicker blows it. Burrow, I'm sorry, man. It hurts to watch. Like
I was told,
Tiger King.
With a quarter left, I was told to put a wager on the Chargers to win. So I was going to do that. And
who told you this?
Brittany.
Okay.
And
you listened. Were they the home team?
And I accidentally instead took the over, which was at 30 points. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. There's still an entire quarter, and it's garbage time. And then he misses the kick, and they only scored 29 points.
Oh no, he blew it for everyone.
He blew it for everyone.
Oh,
that was a bad beat.
Oh, sorry, Cincy. It just keeps going the wrong way.
Saquon's not helping here.
But you're a Cincinnati fan. You're comforted by Joe Burrow being really good, right?
Joe Burrow.
His stats weren't amazing, but he played well.
Besides the terrible dump-off pass when he was trying to get it to Mixon that was intercepted, that one was a play that you can't make.
Get him some linemen, I think you feel Mixon's another one that if you could target him in a trade right now, he might. Well, I
would take Mixon for sure right now.
So Mixon last year had a lot of bad games to start the season, and they started to figure it out. But I don't love Mixon, but if you get him for cheap, maybe you take a shot.
I think Mixon still ends up this season as a top 12 for sure, and probably top 10 running back.
They should be better than last year. I don't know if they'll need to run as much, but
I think there's more positives from the Bengals.
The rookie Mims was out for that game, so we didn't get to look at him, but he's a guy to just keep the name in mind.
Yeah. Barkley's trying to get himself a touchdown before the end of the night.
Do it, Barkley.
He's trying his best. Second and goal.
He could be the last. Lock up the last one for me. I think I still have the Titans. Barkley and the Titans. Let's see. I gotta check it. You tell them about another person that you were watching.
I'm curious there. Let's go through the full out stinkers. Obviously Marlon Mack and Blake Jarwin, they didn't stink, but they got hurt and they're dead to us now.
Guess how many rush yards it says Saquon has?
It's probably, is it in the positives yet? Is it like 5?
6 rush yards. I took you second, Saquon. Run the ball in.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not. He's got 5 catches for like 50 yards though. So, there you go. Just dumping it out.
Nice throwaway, Jonesy.
Yeah, he's doing it. Chris Thompson, really disappoint you. I don't think you spent a ton on Chris Thompson, but he was useless.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's
That's pretty much his whole list. Matt Breida. I don't know if I'd straight drop him yet. Kerryon Johnson.
What was Kerryon's ending stats? I didn't even pay attention to Kerryon.
Did he even play? 7 attempts for 14 yards and an average of 2 yards per carry. So nothing. Not good.
I don't like it.
No. I'm not dropping Kerryon, but you're definitely not happy. J.D. McKissick, not used. Boston Scott
left with an injury, so that keep that in mind.
Yeah, he started out with a few Yeah, I think he had a couple early receptions and then kind of fell out and got hurt.
Again,
afterwards.
if he had not gotten hurt, that game script, they would have been throwing it to him.
That's just an Eagles running back or Eagles really anything to do. It's just go out there and get hurt.
And once he was gone, the Eagles, I'm not saying it was all him that made the Eagles fall apart, but they missed him. Talk about Coleman. You're a Coleman owner. You got the next two guys. Talk about them.
I'm not worried about Coleman at all. It was the air quality thing. He's got the sickle cell trait, so...
Is that right? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, he's a sickle cell trait. He was kind of held out of most of practice this week because of the air quality from the wildfires, which those are insane.
Yeah,
hopefully none of you are in that area, and if you are, hopefully you're safe because it looks awful out there. But so I'm not worried about Coleman just yet. Mostert did an okay job, but
yeah, Coleman.
Oh, I didn't know all that, so I am sorry.
Sorry, man.
McKinnon looked pretty good though.
I know that Coleman tunes into the show. I'm sorry. Who looked good?
McKinnon. I saw him have a couple catches. I think he scored a touchdown.
Talk about Brian Edwards. What was Brian Edwards' stat line at the end?
Did he have a stat line?
So Ruggs goes out. So that you think maybe this opens up the door for Brian Edwards as a rookie receiver?
I don't think Ruggs is out.
Las Vegas Raiders. Ruggs went out of that game, is what I'm saying.
No, but he came back in. He was only out for like 10 minutes.
I thought he was out longer. I thought he.
No, he came. He played the whole second half.
All right.
Yeah. But he was just like a decoy. He didn't catch anything. He wasn't even targeted. But yeah, you got one catch for 9 yards from Brian Edwards.
Yeah, so the hype did not come to fruition yet.
Darren Waller caught a few passes, so hopefully those go towards Edwards. But I think it just speaks to how Josh Jacobs, how good he was, and they didn't really need to throw the ball as much.
Josh Jacobs was good.
It was really good. Jordan Howard.
I'm not dropping it as hard as Breida.
Why is
did he have a touchdown or did he just get the goal line carry?
He had
Jordan's going to be touchdown dependent.
Yeah, he had a touchdown.
If you get desperate
8
after
attempts for 7 yards, so he's having a Saquon game here, except Saquon's not going to have a touchdown.
If your running backs get hurt, if you need a pivot, Jordan Howard is a guy who could just, I think any given week could get you a touchdown. I think that's what he's been. That's what he's going to be. But the Dolphins, their line's not good. Who caught the Slayton with a touchdown?
There you go. Garbage time touchdown for Darius Slayton.
Oh, give it to Saquon.
I got to figure out what my for sure over-under was because I think Sterling Shepard had exactly 47 yards. So I'm not sure how that goes. Mecole Hardman from the Thursday night game. Don't like that he wasn't used at all, but it's week 1 Sammy. I'm not panicking on Hardman just yet.
He could be that boom bust kind of guy where a week could go by and the next week he has 4 catches for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Christian Kirk, not a great showing.
Hopkins hurts every other receiver on that team.
Yeah. I saw Christian Kirk barely miss out on a long touchdown pass, but other than that, it's been not great. Bryce Love is droppable now. Tariq Cohen was not good.
And if there was ever going to be a game
he was
that
good on the ground,
be good,
I mean, 7 attempts for 41 yards, but only 2
Montgomery injured against the Lions. That should have been the Tariq show. Nope, I don't think I don't ever have the confidence to start him.
It wasn't. I think that rounds out our
Justin Jackson got hurt, which allowed for their rookie. We talked about him for a second. You mentioned his name. Was it Josh
Kelly?
Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
He got a touchdown. He got some work, and that was largely because Justin Jackson went down. So,
and just a little rookie recap. Michael Pittman had 2 for 10, so not a whole lot from him.
Another guy that I liked to talk about and have on some teams, Paris Campbell got a lot of targets. He looked good for the Colts in their loss to Minshew and LaVisca.
Also, Justin Jefferson only 2 for 26. So if you thought he was going to fill that Diggs role,
not today.
We're not seeing it yet, especially in what the game that had so much garbage time. You were hoping to see a little bit more.
All right, let's see.
What else you got?
I'm trying to think of some other takeaways, some other big moments, some big games.
What are you looking to see?
Talk about Cam. What do you think of Cam running the ball in?
He ran it too much. It's exactly
too much, huh?
I think he ran it too much. Well, he scored it too much, for sure. I think he's got to throw it. We need more. The problem is we need more fantasy relevant players. So every time
he's relevant if he's running in multiple touchdowns.
No, he's relevant, but he's not helping any players around him be relevant.
I think Edelman had the most targets. I'm not sure about the most yards. I think it was the most yards. N'Keal Harry had one that should have been a touchdown that he fumbled out of the end zone.
He did.
Yeah, if you're going with anybody, maybe Edelman is a flex.
Yeah. Edelman, I feel okay about. Edelman, I'm willing to flex him. Even at a wide receiver, too, I'd like to see his total
Here's
targets.
a guy we'll talk about on the waiver wire. Alan Lazard for the Packers had a decent game. Are you running out to grab Lazard?
He's already owned, I'm sure.
I think there are leagues where he is not owned, and he might be a guy that you could target on the waivers. He looked like he's going to be the number 2 for Rodgers.
Right. Yeah, he is 43% rostered, so I guess he's not owned everywhere.
Also, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he had a touchdown. So those are guys that you
pass on MVS. But
if you're searching.
Yeah, Edelman had 7 targets, 5 receptions for 57 yards. He got a couple.
I think Lazard might be a thing.
I like Lazard. They have to throw it to somebody else.
And again, if Robbie's out there on your waivers, now you've seen one of the things he can do. It might have been his ceiling, but I think there are going to be other games like this where Robbie this is the other thing. It wasn't one big play where he got a touchdown. He did have that, but he also had
he had another 75 yards.
Did he have 6 receptions on 9 targets? So I think that, again, it's in that range. He had between 6 and 9 targets.
8 targets, 6 catches, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown.
So that's a decent amount of targets. They were going to Robbie, and again, that they were throwing it. Teddy looked good. He can throw it. So Robbie's a guy that I'd pick up if I was looking for a wide
receiver. If you take away
receiver.
this 75-yard touchdown, you're looking at 5 for 40.
But he had a 75-yard touchdown.
I know.
If he can get 5 for 40 on the weeks when he lets you down.
I do hate when people say, well, if he didn't have that, but he did. But he did have that.
And I think he's the kind of guy that's capable of having it multiple times this year. I don't think this is going to be an outlier where it doesn't happen again all year.
He's the boom buster.
He can boom.
He can boom. But
Robbie, I believed in you, Robbie.
You believe in Robbie?
As a football player, maybe not as a guy.
I'm getting there. I'm not as a guy.
He's got some off the field extracurricular kind of stuff in his past where
that is
I'm probably not trusting him with my kids, but I'll put him on my lineup.
What are you looking to see from tonight's game? Titans, Broncos. What are we? 8 minutes from kickoff here.
So I am going to need the Titans to get the full sweep, to win all 5 of my leagues or matchups in my leagues. I think I need the Titans to get like 11 or 12 points if Saquon doesn't get any more points. If they can just turn it over to Saquon, let him run in one long touchdown, get the win.
The Giants have 1 timeout here. So
everyone is happy.
2nd 9. So the Giants will get the ball back if the Steelers can't get a first down.
Try and look up the exact numbers. So Saquon ends with 12.7, 15 rush attempts for 6 yards, man. 9 targets for 6 receptions, 61 yards. No touchdown. Yeah, I don't like it. But here's the saving grace for Saquon. The Steelers have a very good defense. They might have the top defense in the league at the end of the year. They got a lot of studs on that team, so you hope.
All right.
But their schedule is rough to open.
So I think we're kind of bearing the lead after watching this game.
What's the lead?
I think the lead now is
Ben's back and healthy.
No, I think it's Benny Snell now. Are we taking
Give me the Snell stat line?
18 carries for 112 yards. And
Benny.
No catches.
We're going to have to make some Benny drops. I got all kinds of Benny Snell drops.
James Conner, 8 for 9 yards and 2 catches for 8 yards.
He had 6 carries?
He had 6 carries. He had
not an injury that we know of.
No, he had 8 total touches.
James Conner owners, time to panic.
Yeah,
right. Full panic.
That's about the worst sign you can see. He was supposed to have the job, and you get 19 carries of Benny Snell.
Wow, like
Ben Roethlisberger had more rushing yards.
There's been no reports about James Conner being hurt. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive to make sure there wasn't some kind of weird injury in warmups or something. But if you're a Conner owner and Snell got 19 carries, you're panicking. You're looking for the reason that happened.
I was going against Juju and Ingram in a PPR. I got Melvin Gordon left me at least 30 from him. That's rough. I saw an ankle mention with Conner. Conner is always hurt. That's part of the problem with him as well. I hate that it auto plays that.
That's all right. All right, so that makes you feel much better if you're Conner. You're going and you're just searching for news that he had some kind of injury
But the problem is he didn't have a stronghold on that job. If Benny Snell looked this good, I'll have to watch the first half too.
Yeah, 100 yards rushing. That's not bad. 5.9 average per carry.
And that's probably getting taken down by some of this.
And they win
options here. They're gonna win, yeah. And I think I'm gonna win my bet as long as something fluky doesn't happen here.
Like a Saquon touchdown?
Well, I need to win by we need to win by at least 6 points, I think. So unless they throw a bomb touchdown to finish it, I think we'll be okay. Claypool. Let's talk about Claypool for a hot second here.
I know he had a big reception early in the game. I heard that when I was coming over. So other than that, what's going on with Claypool?
Claypool today had
big-bodied wide receiver, rookie for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
2 for 39 on 2 targets. Meh. I agree.
Who's in the game?
Juju had 6 targets. Deontay Johnson had 10. If you bought Deontay Johnson, I'm feeling pretty good.
James Washington with 2 receptions. So there's a couple, not too many. Most people were giving Deontay the number 2 spot. But
yeah, if you're buying the Eric Ebron hype, he disappointed you. I think, were you wrong about Ingram? 2 for 9 on 7 targets.
Not great, Bob.
My goodness.
Luckily, the league
Cortland
I
is
had
not
him in,
playing.
I didn't need it.
If you have Cortland, take him out.
I'm going to give a lot of the New York Giants a little bit of a pass because the Steelers, I do think I would probably rate them as my number 1 defense in the NFL this year. Maybe, I don't know necessarily for fantasy, but for just teams I wouldn't want to play against their defense.
Yeah. How do you think Judy's going to do? I think without Cortland there, I'm hoping. What do you want from Judy?
Big Ben kneels, and it looks like the Steelers are going to win 26-16. Oh, Judy?
Yeah.
Is Judge Judy.
It's the worst. We're going to have to take this drop job away from you.
Over, under 6 receptions for Jerry Judy tonight.
I'm going over 6, or let's go 8 catches for 75 yards and 1 touchdown.
Ooh, so you're buying in.
That's what I'm calling.
You believe.
That's what I'm calling.
All
they have is Judy and exactly.
Yeah.
I think those are the only options.
Well, they've got Melvin Gordon. Don't overlook him. He's going to get 30 points for pockets. But
if you can get 21 points in PPR from Fon, I should sweep my league. Normally, I wouldn't think that's possible, but we'll see this new Drew Lock offense. I shouldn't say it's new. He looked good at the end of last season. I'm hoping for big things from Drew Lock. I think this is going to be the first 4 games. I think are really going to set the pace for the rest of Drew Lock's career, because I don't think he's ever going to have more weapons around him than he has right now. They've drafted an entire offense for him.
Yeah, I think
AJ Hamler,
the 2 injuries hurt that narrative
Jerry
a little
Judy.
bit. Is that now he's got all the weapons because again, Sutton being out, that's a big deal. That's going to make a difference for Locke. You got to lower him a little bit. I think, again,
but you still drafted essentially the number 1 wide receiver coming out this year in Jerry Judy. So
Judy should have a game. I'm going to give him over 6 receptions. I don't know if he'll get a touchdown, but man, if he gets 7-8 receptions and a touchdown, the hype's it's gonna be real.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear the buzz.
I think it's already real. I think
it'll depend on the game script because they're playing the Titans, who they're gonna run the ball. It could be kind of a shortened game, just run. But I'm excited. I want to watch Judy. I want to see how he looks. I've heard good things. I wish I had got him in my dynasty team. I did manage to get him in a couple of redraft leagues. So
if you're in here, let us know if you're in any dynasty leagues, because we're both in a dynasty league and we love watching the rookie.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there,
we want to see people breaking out.
If you want to hear more dynasty, more keeper, more IDP, we're interested in all that. We dabble in IDP. We're not, that's probably
I don't know if we
we'll
dabble.
Have to dive in a little more.
I've been in this league for 10 years with 5 IDP positions. That's slightly more than dabbling. I'm
scraping. If you want to know like some pivots or some bottom of the barrel options to go to, that's kind of where my last couple guys I had to grab.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
All right, so again, I had Bentley for the New England Patriots. He's a middle linebacker. He's calling the plays now. They had Van Noy and I think it's Collins Sr. both go at free agency to other places.
Stick someone.
So I'm hoping he can pick up and start getting some tackles.
Type of 1 in chat if you're a Derrick Henry owner. I'm a Derrick Henry owner.
I am not a Derrick Henry owner. Didn't get any shares. But man, unless he has like 60 points, I should win.
There it is. The one. The one Derrick Henry. I love it. I'm excited to see Derrick Henry. I didn't plan on purchasing any Derrick Henry shares when the draft started, and then there it was when the clock stopped with Derrick Henry.
Banjo Matui needs 21 points from Fant, and he should sweep his leagues. How many leagues you in, Banjo? You go like me, you can get all 5?
I think Banjo's probably got a problem with fantasy football.
Fan could have.
He's an addict.
Hey,
there
you
it
go.
is.
The perfect
There
number.
It is. The perfect number.
If you're wondering the perfect number of leagues to be in, 5.
It's
5 is
5.
great. Get 1 dynasty, get 1 IDP, get 1 keeper, and a couple redrafts with people that don't know what's going on.
5 is probably still too many.
Disagree.
Okay.
It's going to be 10 by next year for me. I can feel it.
10?
I got the itch, man.
You can't have 10.
Addicted.
You are addicted. We're all addicted.
A little bit. It's getting worse every year. Like, first year, it's like, oh, I'll play a league, see how it goes. Next year, I was like in 4. Now I'm in 5. Now I have a podcast.
Going against Titans defense, hopefully they give up 600 yards to. Yeah. I want to see the Broncos do well. We like I said before with Cam taking all the touchdowns away from the other players. I just want to see more fantasy relevant players. It's only going to benefit everyone else.
Many fantasy relevant players.
I know, but again, when have we had like multiple starting options from the Broncos?
Judge Judy, man, out there.
We could only start
brand new, so relevant.
Sutton. That's all we could start in the Broncos offense was Cortland Sutton.
There's more.
And Philip Lindsay every once in a while. I was in 5 last year, had to take it down to 1. What? You went from 5 to 1? That's a big drop.
Oh, what's your wife's name? No, I'm just kidding. I get it.
Wow. Wow.
Hey. I was watching the Fantasy Pros. They play Fantasy Feud where they have different questions about fantasy football, and they ask their viewers, and they get points. And they did the fast money round, and the question was number 1 reason that you stopped playing fantasy football, and the number 1 was wife or girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Number 2 was money. So
I get it. The money part is getting more and more real every day since they added sports betting. Oh my goodness! I don't know if you guys live in states where sports betting is legal, but it is entertaining. This is our first football season with legal sports betting. I don't know if you've partaken at all. Have you?
No, I know myself, and I'm just gonna stick to the fantasy leagues. The thing about the fantasy league is I put a lot of money into it, but it lasts. It lasts all season. I've got my investment. If again I keep things up, hopefully I can recoup a little bit of that through those. Whereas the daily stuff,
fantasy, I hope to break even every year.
No, I gotta.
It's not even daily. It is interesting looking at it from a different perspective.
Just fantasy football and energy drinks, pure caffeine.
I'm with Mike. I'm glad I don't live somewhere where I can bet. Says NIU 2K grad. Mine was the money. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
It happens. It can get expensive, especially I know in one league we're trying to up the fee. My part of it too is I don't want to spend as much time that we spend on fantasy football research and podcast time and everything.
Got to use that knowledge.
Exactly. You got to get into it. You got to use it. And I don't want to spend all that time on
what it's called?
a $20 league.
It's called being a champion.
Yeah.
KU only gambles with his life, not his money. Living in Kansas with tornadoes, just tornado roulette.
Yeah, that you're taking your life into your hands, just staying there.
You know they call this Tornado Alley, right?
Get out. Can anybody confirm if this game has started? I don't think it has. Are they still doing?
They should be getting underway right about now.
They're probably doing some intro ceremony, I'm sure. Let me pull up the other feed here. But yeah, no, I'm hoping for some offense from both sides, but I really want to see it from the Broncos. I want to see.
Yeah, I want to get a look at it.
Well.
I want to see Locke.
I'm interested to see what Philip Lindsay's role is now. I'm not only for 8 more months.
I think he's going to get more carries than you would expect.
You think so?
I do. I hope that doesn't hurt your Melvin 30-point game, but I think Lindsay's going to be out there.
Over under 50 all-purpose yards for Lindsay and over under 6.5 carries.
I'm going to go under on yards, over on carries.
Under on yards, over on carries. I think that's interesting.
Like 8 touches.
Kansas is the worst state. Wow. Wow.
Oh, obviously you haven't been to New Jersey. I'm kidding, Jersey. Don't send me horse heads.
They're worse. There's worse. Where do you hate NIU? Let's see. Let's see if you can pick out where K-Pac Pockets is.
Ohio's got some nice cities, right?
I don't think so. All right.
That's all right. So they can't all be just the high tax in Illinois.
Yeah, that's true. This game hasn't really started yet. They're still doing opening ceremonies.
All right.
Tennessee is favored by by 3, even though they're away at the Broncos. So who do you think wins this game? Give me a final score.
I'm going to take the Titans. I think Henry comes out in Henry's. He should be fresh. He should be good to go. Haven't heard any injuries about him. A.J. Brown, I'm curious to see. I've got him. He was a little banged up. He had a lower body injury, and he came back. He's been cleared for a couple days. Looks like he's going to go. He was my keeper. I personally have not been a big A.J. Green guy. I don't like just the low passing volume on that team, even though their efficiency is hyper effective, super good. I think they can still be very efficient, Tannehill and A.J. Brown, because they set up the pass with the run so much with Henry. But I don't know. I worry. I think there will be games when both of those guys do disappear.
Give me a final score.
Final score, I think it'll be, let's go 28-26.
Really?
Yeah.
Close.
I'll give it to the Titans.
I'm going to go 24-20 Broncos. I'm gonna take the Broncos are tough at home. They end up usually being low-scoring games with a lot of field goals. Just a lot of field goals.
Again, it should be a grinder kind of game, a Gruden grinder game.
Yeah, no, I'll take the Broncos 24-20. I like to take the underdogs sometimes. Once we get this game underway,
I love my buddy's response that Kansas is the worst state. He just goes, "There's worse."
That's it. There's worse.
And then Adam's favorite, Tennessee, the best state.
I don't know about that.
So you got the Titans going. We love you, Tennessee.
Yeah, parts of Tennessee. All right, back to football.
All right, we're streaming till 10?
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
We'll do it. We'll
keep it
for
going.
a while longer.
Hang out with the people.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Anybody else that you're looking forward to seeing in this game? I think we'll see. I think it'll be interesting how much production Melvin Gordon has and if he can stay healthy the whole time. I gotta check my.
Again, I was watching.
Make sure my lineups are set.
I was watching the preseason. I was watching him doing training camp, and I thought Melvin Gordon looked a little smaller. So I want to hear, just people the eye test if you feel like he looks like the same guy he was last year. Drew Lock's numbers; those will be interesting. Can he support all these weapons that he's got? Cortland Sutton, I think he'll probably be back within a week or two. So hopefully he doesn't miss that much time. If you're a Cortland owner, I don't think you panic yet. You hold on to him, throw him in your IR slot.
Don't have him anywhere. Just curious to see if Tannehill is real.
This is a fun fact.
I don't think Tannehill is real. I don't think he's the real deal.
I think he can be. I don't know if he'll be as good as he was last year, but I think he can still be good. I think he'll have big games.
The word is serviceable, I think. Will Josh Rosen ever be a thing?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Josh Rosen will be a successful backup quarterback in the NFL again someday.
I don't know.
He'll be a backup somewhere. I don't think he's going to start.
Is he employed right now? I don't think anybody picked him up, did they?
I thought I saw him watching the Texans game in the stand. He was at a game watching, I think. I could be wrong, but
that's interesting.
It's nice that they gave him a ticket. Sure, Josh, we'll get you something, buddy.
So if Foles and Trubisky don't work out, do you want to kick the tires on Josh Rosen?
No.
Where do you see our quarterback situation next season? We're Bears fans, by the way, if you're just joining us.
Oh, gosh. Taking a shot on a mid-first round quarterback who doesn't pan out. That's where I see it going.
Oh, that'd be the worst. I don't want that.
It'd be so Bearsy.
It would be.
Oh, I love trash.
Maybe they've turned a new leaf. Maybe they're good now.
Here's a good question because we do play Dynasty. Are there any
quarterbacks
that are going to hit the open market next year? Cam, if he's got a 1-year deal, so he'll be, if you look at him, he looks healthy. Maybe New England wants to move on. I'm personally not a big Cam guy. His outfits bother
Drew
me.
Lock's numbers are going to be tonight, and then we'll talk about Cam.
You go ahead. You give me the betting line.
Drew Lock. Let's go 20 for 230 yards and 2 scores.
I say he passes for 1 touchdown. But again, I think it'll. I have no idea. I'm just
after
I'll
further consideration, you have no idea.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a pretty benign game from Drew Lock. I'll be happy if he doesn't turn it over and he can get a couple scores. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I worry about him without Sutland as far as his passing options. I think he's going to go to Judy. I think Judy's going to get volume, but I think that it's a lot to put on a rookie in his first game who had a shortened preseason.
I see what you did there, NIU. And we call that a Trubisky. 17 for 35 for 190 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick.
That's much more kind of the range.
That's
a
Trubisky.
Thinking.
That's what that is.
Well, bad Trubisky, but then good Trubisky shows up at the end.
We don't get good Trubisky enough.
And you know what he does?
Big Mama's handing out biscuits, baby!
He passes out the biscuits.
I wish that would die.
Not today. Probably after he gets replaced by Foles next week.
I'll take the over on all stat lines for that.
All right. Except over 1 touchdown?
Except for the interceptions. I think there'll be no interceptions. I think 2 touchdowns. I think he passes for at least 200 yards.
Titans have a good D. He'll throw an interception.
AKA Rifle, please help. How do I put a bench player on my starting lineup? Depends on your format. And I think it's a little too late if you're talking about this week.
If the game's already started, they're locked and you can't do it.
Yeah, if the game started, even though it's not actually on yet, they haven't snapped it, the game's already started, so I don't think you can. What you can do is you can, in your chat of your league, you can text the commissioner, message in the chat and say, hey, can you swap this player real quick? I want to play him. The game hasn't started yet, and they may help you out, but I would go to your commissioner.
Yeah, I agree. Generally, you just click on the player or if there's like a little star or circle next to their name, and it'll let you then move them into the active roster spot.
Correct. Yeah. I hope that helps, but that's going to be your easiest route. All right. I think we're finally getting kickoff here, and our stream is lagging. Go figure. That's right.
Yep, no problem. Best of luck.
Let's hope for no injuries as well.
Yeah. Bless the knees.
Bless the knees. Bless all the knees.
All right, so let's go.
And we're off. Tennessee is starting with the ball. 15 minutes on the clock. Let's see some football. All right, thanks. Yep, you got it. I hope that works out. Let us know if you need more help with anything.
So we'll run through the scores real quick. We didn't hit on that yet. So the Thursday night game we talked about, but the Chiefs beat the Texans 34-20.
Also, I want to plug it real quick.
Go for it.
I added a little ticker at the bottom for our Discord. If you want to join us, we're going to try and build the community around it and try and have start-sit question sections. And maybe I had an idea that if people wanted to get into a chat and talk with other fans of the same team, now that bars and restaurants are somewhat closed until the pandemic is over, maybe a good way to meet some new people to talk with, maybe even during game days. So join the Discord if you can, and hopefully we can make that into something good.
We'll get some fellow addicts, hold some meetings, as you do when you're addicted.
Have some meetings for sure.
So the Jets-Bills. Jets lose to the Bills, 27-7, or 17 for the Jets, 27 for the Bills. Packers putting up a shocker, 43 points against the Vikings, who were supposed to be good at defense. Now I wonder. Vikings have 34. They come back, and Thielen gets the touchdowns, 2 touchdowns in that one. The Washington Redskins upsetting the Eagles, man. Let's touch on that game we didn't talk about very much.
I saw the question in the chat yesterday. What was the bigger upset, the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Colts, or
Jacksonville, 100%. Biggest upset by a mile.
Yeah, I would agree.
The Eagles, they were banged up. They
actually let us know if you got eliminated from a survivor pool because you took the Colts this week.
I
bet the number is insane.
We're here for you. We're here to vent. We're here to rage.
I bet the number is insane.
Yeah, if you're just eyeing that chat but you're feeling shy, jump in. We just if you want to bash the Lions, that's welcome.
We're good with it. If you want to bash the Bears even,
we get it.
We understand. We're here to do that as well. A
little face mask.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Did he get it off?
I think he did. So Tannehill throws it away. They had a little rush for about 10 yards just before. The Eagles blow it. They were looking good. They were up. They blow the lead. Washington comes in. Antonio Gibson, the rookie who people had kind of high expectations. It turns out he's not the next Christian McCaffrey yet.
He's not insane.
Not to say he won't become something, but he definitely didn't give you that, oh, it's happening kind of feel like some of the other rookies. Yeah, Washington, that's a game that I actually haven't gotten the chance to go back and watch a lot of. I know that they went in at halftime.
Why would you go back and watch that game?
I want to see what happened.
It was awful.
I saw the stats, like, all right, Eagles leading, it's going. And then you just look like, how did Washington get all their points? I think that Carson threw an interception that was big play.
Both teams came out rusty, and the Eagles just seemed to have no kind of game plan. As per usual, it just didn't seem like they were all on the same page. And Washington ended up just doing enough, I think is all it is.
Well, they scored 27 points. Terry McLaurin was out there. He was kind of the only guy you seemed to want on a fantasy team after you watched that game. Yeah, so the Eagles, they did have their rookie, Jalen Reagor, out there. He played. He's been having a shoulder injury. People thought he could be gone for as much as 4 weeks, but he came out, gutted it out, got 1 reception for a pretty big gain, but no, didn't light the world on fire. You still worry about his health a little bit with that shoulder.
So, I mean, on the Eagles side of things, everybody disappointed you except for Dallas Goedert.
Boston Scott goes out with an injury.
Zach
Ertz did get you a touchdown.
He got you a touchdown, but he didn't do anything.
No, not beyond that.
Somehow, for 270 passing yards from Carson Wentz, he managed to create like almost 0 fantasy output, which is brutal.
Do they bring in the old Falcons, Devontae Freeman?
I don't think so.
I know he's been talking to teams, and if Boston Scott just got hurt, they're going to be hurt.
He said he's got his pick of 4 teams, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't think he's got his pick of 4 teams? Derrick Henry, 2 carries for 31 yards already.
That sounds about right.
I mean,
he's pretty good at running.
That's nice. I like that. I realized I watched some of the video from yesterday. I think I just end up saying that's nice about 18 times. Dub with the sub. Thank you.
All right.
Welcome to the Addicts.
Welcome.
Join our Discord, Dub. Thank you. All right, back to it. Scary Terry, 5 receptions for 61 yards.
Who had the touchdowns for Washington? Their tight end had one, right? We talked about him.
Logan Thomas.
So Logan Thomas, not rostered in a lot of places if you're desperate for a tight end.
And Peyton Barber, he's being picked up a lot, but 17 carries for 29 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's the most Peyton Barber-y kind of game. It's
Don't pick him up. Don't waste your...
He just exists to hurt your other players that are on the team.
Don't waste your waiver priority.
He used to do it to Rojo. Now Rojo's free. Rojo's a guy we didn't talk about. Didn't have phenomenal stats, but he just looked good. I've heard a lot of analysts that have been talking about seeing him, saying that, he
passed. You looking for what our recommendations are or what they are? Our recommendations were Naeem Hines, James Robinson. I think I'd rather take James Robinson, and I wouldn't waste my number 1 waiver priority unless I really needed a tight end. If I was a Kittle owner, I might spend to get Dallas Goedert.
Wide receivers, Alan Lazard, Robbie Anderson. I like Robbie Anderson. I have all through the offseason.
Yeah, Lazard was only, what did I say, 43% on.
Rostered.
He's another one I would probably use my number 1 waiver on this early.
Yeah, Paris Campbell's a guy. He looked good for Indy.
I wouldn't spend the number 1 waiver spot, especially early in the season, is super valuable. I wouldn't waste it on anybody except for those 3 guys.
Guy we didn't talk about who might be out there. Mike Williams actually played. Didn't think he was going to go.
He did play.
Played through an injury. Had more receptions than Keenan Allen for the Chargers. So that's an interesting little stat there. I think Herbert might come in sooner than later. Tyrod Taylor did not look good.
I gave false information. Derrick Henry 2 for 8 yards now.
Not as good. Not as impressive as what, 30-some yards?
Jonnu Smith, a catch for 22 yards. Actually, type in chat if you started Jonnu Smith.
That's an interesting one. I know that some people did take a late-round flyer on Jonnu.
Right. If you buy into the Delaney Walker, replacement, then I get it.
Kind of for all the pieces besides Henry on this team, it's like, are they just going to be consistent? There'll be games where Jonnu Smith shows up where he gets a touchdown, but then will there be games that they just go with Henry and he runs the ball and they don't need the other guys? Darrington Evans is the rookie on this team.
Welcome back. Sorry.
Hey, we had another pocket up earlier. I wasn't sure if it was you on a different account.
It might be. He's just double following us with the pockets.
Okay, pack up pockets.
He started Jonnu, though. All right. Hot start from Jonnu.
Deep pockets in this
You didn't
league.
get goosed, and I think you already had more points than Gronk had. Which is
Gronk.
unfortunate.
So
we
is
don't have to
Gronk
talk
going to
about
have
Gronk
big
again.
games? Are there going to be some big games for Gronk in the future? Is it going to happen?
I don't think we're spending on Malcolm Brown. Are you buying into Malcolm Brown? There's too many options.
I think if you need a guy for the next couple games, like let's say you have Miles Sanders was one that didn't play this week, and if you're looking for, you took him high and you need a guy to start for the next couple games, maybe then you grab Malcolm Brown while you're waiting for Boston to come back.
Malcolm Brown.
Or not Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, pardon me. But Yeah, he looked really good. I watched that game. He passed the eye test. They were giving him the goal line carries. I don't know if he's going to get overtaken. I would guess that at some point he gets overtaken by Cam Akers, but Cam Akers didn't look like a world beater. He wasn't the obvious. Some of these games, they'll try and play the guy that's been a veteran or been on the team for a while, and you can obviously see, oh, he's not as good as this rookie. They're just trying to kind of give him some spots, get that rookie comfortable. Malcolm looked good.
Okay, AK Rifle. So I'm new to fantasy. Why don't bench points count? You have to. So the fun of fantasy is you have to
make a choice.
You have to make a choice. You have to select who you believe in, and that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, to discuss who we believe in week in, week out. So bench points are the guys you didn't trust enough to put in your lineup. So they just didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, and also when you're doing those decisions, you have to take into account things like, okay, this guy's on my bench. Does he have a good matchup this week? Maybe he's playing a strong defense. Maybe he's playing a weak defense. So maybe you have a guy you like to start one week that you don't like to start the next week because of the matchup. Other things you got to kind of consider what you need. If you just need a guy to get you 10 points to win your league, maybe you go with a safer option. But if you need a big blow-up game, you need 30 points, maybe you put in one of those boom-bust wide receivers.
Yeah.
It just adds to the complexity.
Also, Rifle, we started a YouTube series called Why You Suck at Fantasy Football, and it's kind of for people like yourself that are kind of just getting into it and may not know all the ins and outs. It's not possible to put 2 QBs in your starting lineup, right? Probably not in your league format, but in a super flex league, you could make a decision. Pockets.
So Pockets 2, that's exactly what he did. He drafted Miles Sanders in the second round. I did the same in a league. And yeah, I think that if you're looking for another possible waiver pickup, remind me the name of the Jacksonville Jaguars, their running back that they're throwing in now.
Oh, James Robinson?
James Robinson. So James Robinson is a guy that not a lot of people are aware of, but he got, I think, 100% of the carries for Jacksonville. He's going to get
only
volume.
16, but
Jacksonville's not great, but they didn't need to run a lot in that game. There are going to be games,
especially if you're in a standard league where there's no PPR. I think he can be more valuable. There's fun with a catch of probably 15 yards. That's a good beginning. Make a decision. That's what we were talking about.
So the question for the Malcolm Brown is, who would you drop? Do you have a player that you would drop to pick him up? And if you give us that, we can give you whether we would drop that person or not.
Yeah, I think he means he's available on waivers. He would have to use his.
So for waivers, you'll have to drop someone to pick him up.
I think Lamar Jackson probably still outscored Ben.
Yeah, Blake Jarwin. Sorry to see the injury.
Blake Jarwin. I
know that
he's gone.
Mike the Hitman Wright on the Fantasy Footballers was a big fan. He's been talking about him all off season. In the first game, he gets hurt. So sorry, Mike. But yeah, you hate to see it. But so here's another thing that I'll make a note about that Blake Jarwin injury is the next tight end that they have up. I can't even remember his name. He came in and did not look good catching the ball. So they might make a move to pick up a tight end. Too bad Witten ended up going to the Raiders. Otherwise, that they could call him. But let's see. It was Delaney Walker was the name I saw get floated. I believe he's in his mid-30s.
Don't pick up Delaney Walker.
But he might be a guy that they bring in who actually gets some catches.
He's going to get hurt.
He's not great, but...
Kitback actually picked up James Robinson on Saturday. That was a smart move. I think it's going to pay off. If you do own him, I would think about trading him.
At least for now, he looks like he's going to be the guy for that team to get the volume, to get the carries.
If you can trade him for anybody that's a running back too, I would take it.
Some examples? Give him some examples.
Examples. Actually, let's just go back to.
All right, we'll look it up for you.
The scores here. So, from this past week, running backs. I would rather have. Man, this can't be right. There we go. All players.
Would you rather have Carlos Hyde?
No, I would not.
Okay.
Here's who I would think about taking. In that same ballpark.
Chase Edmonds had 15.6 points. That's interesting.
I don't know who you could draw. Who had a bad week that you could draw? Kareem Hunt. I'd rather have Kareem Hunt more than.
No, you won't get Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's rostered. You won't be able to get him.
No,
Zach Moss.
No, I'm not saying as a trade. If you're trying to work out a trade, that's kind of about the player that I'd be looking to swap.
No,
you don't think so?
You'd have to bamboozle somebody to pull that one off.
Kareem Hunt had a not superb week 1. I could see maybe somebody biting on that, but probably not. Todd Gurley. No, I don't think.
You got bamboozled.
No, nobody's giving up those guys for for the Jacksonville running back.
Fantasy,
he was unproven.
People do crazy things.
If he had a giant week, maybe, but he had like around 10 points,
it wasn't
maybe a
great.
little less.
Yeah, anybody at the back end RB2 category just immediately taking a trade.
So Boston Scott's injury, I think he's going to get volume, still be good if and he's a nice handcuff if he's healthy, but then he got hurt. So I think you could drop Boston Scott.
Yeah, I do too. I think so.
And again, I think you pick up Malcolm for that because then he's going to get you through those weeks where
again,
you would have needed the
if it's
handcuff.
your top waiver priority, if you're 1, 2, or 3 on the list, I wouldn't take any of these guys. I would take Naeem Hines, Robinson, Lazard, and Goddard if I needed a tight end. I think that's my only 4.
You wouldn't drop Boston for Malcolm?
No, I'm saying if you have to, for non-FAP leagues, if
to
you
blow
have
the priority, that's what I'm saying.
Priority. That's it. Those 4. James Robinson's girlfriend just moved in with him. I'd be hesitant. Yeah, I mean,
now that he's a starter, she decided they could make it official.
Yeah, smart move by her. Smart move by her. Actually, I don't know. He might be not a thing after another week or 2.
I wonder if CeeDee Lamb dropped that girl that she grabbed his phone during the draft and he gave her the death stare. I wonder if they're still together.
I don't know. We can call our contacts and find out. All right, so it looked like a pretty much, was it a 4-and-out, 5-and-out by the Broncos. So Melvin Gordon, 1 carry for 7 yards, and Noah Fant with 1 catch for 17 yards. Pretty slow start to this game. No fun action to report back.
You thought it might be a grind.
Rush. That's not great. It is going to be a grind for sure. Again, these teams haven't played any football against anybody. It's just been walkthroughs and maybe some pad work late in the week last week.
I've heard a lot of analysts talk about like, oh, they haven't tackled, they won't remember how to tackle. Oh, it's been a while. Like, these are NFL football players. They know how to tackle people. They know how to play football. I don't think people forget. So that is an angle that I've heard from players. Like, maybe you're a little bit rusty. Maybe you gotta
They're still dating. Pocket pull, women weakened legs, Mickey. What? I don't get it.
That's all right.
They're still dating. That's interesting.
Going with it.
Things came back. I don't get it either. The lull.
Oh, so that was in response to the CeeDee Lamb and his girl. All right, I'm glad they worked through that phone issue.
Yeah. We were worried about him. All right, so what do we got? All right, so they're in commercial break. That's disappointing. We want to see football.
So
you got bamboozled.
Apex drops again.
Yep.
Love it. Anybody play Apex or Rocket League? We need more teammates.
That's all. Hold on, I'm going to go back through where we were working through all the games. The Browns just got massacred by the Ravens.
Right.
You're concerned, I think, if you've got any of the Browns players. Any bright spots on that game? Anybody that was fantasy relevant for the Browns?
That's the biggest don't panic too early game, I think.
Hold your Browns.
Yeah, hold your Browns.
Wash it down with Browns.
I shouldn't have repeated that.
Next one, we got the Colts-Jaguars. The Colts also, if you're a Colts fan, not time to panic. The Jaguars came out, they hit him in the mouth a little bit. Rivers, he was passing the ball around to people. Again, that was just, I think, a fluky loss. I think they'll learn from their mistakes, and they'll get better. I think the Colts will be all right. I think Jonathan Taylor will be an upgrade from Marlon Mack after Marlon Mack's injury. Raiders-Panthers, I think one of the takeaways I'm taking from this game is start your players against the Raiders defense and start your players against the Panthers defense. Josh Jacobs was awesome, but I don't know if he's going to be as good against tougher defenses.
I think Josh Jacobs, even if he's not good against tougher defenses, he's going to get enough usage. He's going to be phenomenal.
He got more involved in the passing game. I think he had more pass.
I'm buying into Josh.
I think he was targeted more this year than any of his games last year already. So, also their running back depth is not real
it's
threatening.
Not real.
Christian McCaffrey still being Christian, just doing Christian things. So,
even though I early
a good Christian
at
boy
halftime
there.
When he only had
Bears and Lions.
points.
Oh my gosh, it was just. Here, I gotta find my
Ray Donovan, Rocky. What?
And special shout out, thank you, Swift, for dropping that ball and giving the Bears the win. We'll take it. Don't feel good about anything though.
All right, let's talk about the Chargers. I think they're kind of the one team we skipped over. Mr. Glass, 5 receptions for 73 yards. Hunter Henry. I feel pretty good about Hunter Henry's
held up.
performance.
Doesn't sound like he's injured.
He
Played
held
well.
up. Tyrod Taylor still look towards them.
Do we start him over Higbee next week in our co-league?
I don't think so. I think we're going to still start Higbee.
I got to check out the matchups.
What I like to see, though, is Hunter Henry, 8 targets, Mike Williams, 9 targets, Keenan Allen, 8 targets. Everybody else, forget them. Like, we don't need anybody else. This is old school football. You have
do you forget Austin Eckler?
Austin, I know.
How much should Austin Eckler owners be panicking?
I don't care. I like to see more fans.
I think they care.
No, they care absolutely. 19 carries, 84 yards. They didn't get the touchdown. So 16 more yards and a touchdown. You feel really good about Austin
Eckler owners are out there saying, "What do we do, Mike and Nick?"
But Eckler, we're
here to help. Eckler, you're not full panicking yet, but
gotcha.
You're thinking that
pocket full fire. I didn't get the reference. I don't know. Did you get the Rocky reference?
I did not. Yo, Adrian. That's all right. I haven't seen them all in a while.
Don't brutalize it like that, Mike.
I did.
Again, if Austin Eckler had another 16 yards or a touchdown, you'd feel really good about it.
Yeah, I don't think you panic yet.
Do you see the lineman just pull Derrick Henry by his helmet? So let's go.
You might be able to, again, if you want to target somebody in a trade, Eckler might be a guy to grab right now. But again, he's definitely hurt by Rivers not being there. You could see that Rivers wanted to do the same thing in Indy, and it helped kind of his receiving options.
Yeah.
Tyrod, by all accounts, just wasn't very good. And is he going to be able to support this?
He had 208 yards passing, no touchdowns, no picks, 7 yards rushing, just not a whole lot. But I'm okay with that if we can get Keenan Allen where he's startable, Mike Williams startable, and Hunter Henry startable. That's all great. 8 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets. It's an
one
encouraging
reception for Austin Eckler. That's what's the most concerning.
We'll see. I'm not panicking on the Chargers yet.
On one target.
Tyrod Taylor was not good, and everybody was still.
I hadn't seen the numbers laid out for Eckler, and I'm a mid panic. I'm not psyched.
Are we buying low on Montgomery? I don't think so. What do y'all think about the Kelly kid?
So I drafted Montgomery low, and I have been trying to trade him away for players that went a round or two earlier. But he was out there. He no account says that he's re-aggravated the groin. I think he's going to get more volume as he goes if he's healthy, not less than what he had. So I think you see his like lowest of floors in that game. But the running game looked better this year than last year. They were getting it going a little bit. Cordero Patterson had a couple big ones. Even the little guy that I don't like. Even Cohen had a big one that he broke off.
The little guy that I don't like.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was talking about. I knew Cohen.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, Tariq. Again,
if somebody drops Tariq Cohen, pick him up. I'm picking him up if somebody drops
and put him in your pocket.
No, put him in your line.
Save him for a rainy day.
Our chat's turning into a pure pocket chat, which is it's fine with me.
This is the All Pocket podcast.
Yeah. I didn't know we had to change our name, but if you have other pockets, you
have to wear a shirt with pockets next time.
Okay. What do you think about the Kelly kid? Is it Josh Kelly?
Yeah, if you can throw him on a bench, if you've got room, if you're in a deeper league, I like rostering him, especially if Justin Jackson's going to miss a little bit of time. He should get the goal line work more so than Eckler. I think, he could be one of those guys that turns into something. I'm watching him, and I'm confident enough. I wouldn't use a waiver priority on him. I wouldn't spend a lot of fab, but if he was just sitting out there and you had a guy on your team that you didn't like, let's say you had Chris Thompson or trying to think of other guys that really underachieved. If you took a shot on N'Keal Harry, you didn't feel inspired by N'Keal.
Howard.
Yeah,
those guys.
I think you could make that pivot.
I think you'd keep Howard over Kelly.
But also to be said, the Chargers played the Bengals. They only put up 16 points against the Bengals defense. That is also a concern.
Bengals have a lot of new talent, though.
They do, not on defense.
Jermaine Pratt with 12 total tackles. That's a lot.
We talked about the Seahawks-Falcons, so we'll skip over that one. But Seahawks win 38-25. The Dolphins lose to the Patriots with Cam running all over, 21-11. I called that one too. I thought it would be a low kind of scoring, grinded out kind of game, Patriots style. Just found a way, did what they needed to do. So look for the Patriots to just keep quietly stacking up little unimpressive wins.
Is Jerick McKinnon worth rostering is the question I'm getting from Pocket now.
Not today.
We touched on it a little bit earlier. He actually looked pretty good. I was impressed. He had the touchdown. He's worth rostering, I guess, if you have somebody that you can drop and you don't have to pay for him. I wouldn't waste fab on him. Maybe $1. You putting $1 on Jerick McKinnon? I don't think so.
So, again, the thing about Montgomery, I'm going up a question, is what could you buy him for? Like, what would you give up for David Montgomery? Lev Bell?
No.
Do that? Okay.
I'd probably actually keep Montgomery over Lev.
How about Antonio Gibson?
I'd rather have Montgomery.
That was a trade I tried to make before the season, was trading Montgomery, thinking he was injured for Antonio Gibson. I'm glad it didn't go through. But I think if I had Antonio Gibson, I'd try to make that trade and get Montgomery. It's going to be harder now.
Just wanted to make sure we were still buying high on CJ for the tight end spot. It's been a while since.
Did you miss it? Again, at the
NIU,
CJ Uzomah outperforms Gronkowski. Let me go back and just tell you the tight ends that CJ Uzomah outperformed this week. I've still got it up. So, I believe he was the 16th tight end in the week, which, again, not the best, but he outperformed Jack Doyle, Tyler Higbee, Hayden Hurst, Chris Herndon, Mike Gesicki, Kyle Rudolph, Dawson Knox, Dan Arnold. Outperformed them all. Had, again, this is in a half PPR, 6.5, and a full PPR 8.5. I'm just saying, if you believed in Gronk and your hopes were dashed, like Nicholas, maybe you go get CJ Uzomah if there's nobody else out there. If you had Blake Jarwin and he blew his knee, maybe Uzomah. He's just there for you. I just want you to know he's there, and he's the best.
No, we don't need a Uzomah segment every stream.
There is already a CJ Uzomah segment every stream.
No, don't make that a thing. Please.
Can't wait to pick him up everywhere.
Please don't make that a thing.
So, again, I'm mildly concerned about Hayden Hurst, but I'm not quite ready to pivot to Uzomah from him yet. But again, a lot of guys kind of underachieving what the hopes were. Hayden Hurst underachieved, Gesicki underachieved.
Corey Davis, 2 receptions for 36 yards. I told you it's going to happen.
Yeah. Tight end I was impressed with,
Judy
though.
With no points.
I was impressed with Hawkinson, so if you're looking for a guy to pick up and he's there.
If Hawk is on waivers, which I hope he's not.
I don't know how much Kenny G coming back would hurt him, but
Hooper was really a bum. The whole...
let's talk about Austin Hooper.
No, let's just forget about the whole game.
What? Yeah, how? Oh, my gosh. That was... If you took Austin Hooper thinking that he was going to be what he was for the Falcons... You stepped in it. You made a mistake.
Yeah.
I would be getting rid. I would drop Hooper for a number of tight ends that are probably available.
I'm punting that entire game right now. I'm going to pretend the Browns game didn't happen and hope it just restarts for them next week.
And then just forget the other 50 years of their history before that. But Hooper, the other thing, maybe a slight plus for him is that Njoku, who did actually score pretty well this week, had a touchdown. He got injured, and he will be out on the IR. So maybe give him a slight bump because of that. Russell Gage on the same team as Julio and Calvin, but the Falcons are going to play from behind a lot. Falcons are the best worst team. The Falcons are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of last year. I said it before the season. They're going to air it out. They're going to have to play from behind because their defense is still bad.
Russell Gage. I see Philip Lindsay in the game.
If you were on a dynasty team, pick up Gage. But no, I wouldn't pick him up over guys like Lazard, Paris Campbell, even Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson. I'd pick those guys up before I would pick up Gage.
And he's on the board. Jerry Jeudy with a 12-yard reception.
Judy.
Okay. Let's see it. Let's see if he can.
This is Judge Judy.
I thought we outlawed that drop. That one specifically.
If you can find me cleaner Judge Judy audio, I'd be happy to.
I don't know why. The fact that we need at 30+ years of age, we need a Judge Judy drop just scares me.
She's been relevant for our whole lives.
Dawson, Scotty Miller, same kind of thing. I don't know what to do with the Bucs offense right now.
No, don't want Scotty.
If you owned anybody in the Bucs offense, are you happy with how Sunday went?
I think you're not panicking.
I know, but you're still disappointed on all accounts.
I'm going to give them a little time to figure it out. They weren't just all of a sudden the greatest show on turf, but they did play the Saints, who also have a tough defense and is a very experienced, well-prepared team, well-coached. So take that into account. That's a good
drop. It's not a good drop. Oh, my God.
Thank you.
It sounds like it's going through a dryer. I think you are if you own Scotty somehow. Next Edelman. No way. I don't think we're how many Buccaneers are we going to hype up? We have a 48-year-old quarterback pretty much. How old is Tom Brady now? 43, 44?
Oh, he's just, what is he, like
45?
16, 17? He's ageless, man. He's drinking kale all day. I think kale's good for you. I've heard it's healthy. Not for me.
You ever see one by itself?
Kale? Yeah.
I wish I could use that quote on here. I guess we could.
We'll see where it goes. So no, stay calm.
All right. I want to pull up the Bucks game here real quick. And
the Bucks will be all right.
Really go through
They'll get it going better. They got 23 points at the end.
I don't know how the Saints put up 34 points
and again, I think you're
helping anybody.
I think if you got Rojo, you can be secure enough that he's going to get the workload. He had 17 carries. He had 66 yards. Didn't get the touchdown, but I think there's going to be touchdowns coming for Rojo. He's going to be the goal line guy,
Bengals kicker,
I believe.
I know. I had the over at 30 points. I bought him in the fourth quarter, the over at 30. And, he blew his calf out, not winning me money. Whatever. I'm over it. I'm not salty. I'm fine.
Yeah. You blew it! Sorry, Bengals kicker. I don't think anybody was relying on him, though. I don't know. Did anybody have the Bengals kicker as their kicker? If you did, you can pivot to Blankenship of the Indianapolis Colts. He only ended up with 7 points, but he made his 2 field goals, made his 2 extra points, and has some great specs.
But he looked good doing it.
Respects the specs.
He did look good doing it.
I think there's going to be good games for him.
Welcome
I think he's going to be a stud.
Joe. Yeah, that was not a great way to start. He actually played pretty well. I don't trust kicker's name, Randy.
And this probably wasn't the year that they were going to win the Super Bowl. But, yeah, if you can just see that team grow and develop, and then next year they can draft some linemen and some defensive pieces, they're going to be I think they're moving in the right direction with the quarterback they made. Didn't pick up a Trubisky that you're just shackled to for the next 4 years.
Yeah. All right, so Jared Cook, 5 for 80. That's encouraging. I didn't like Jared Cook. I don't think he actually repeats this as often as you would hope. Alvin Kamara, 5 for 51 and a touchdown. You were really worried early on with Kamara. He wasn't getting any.
I could be wrong, but I think Kamara had another one where it was like an inch away from a touchdown, and they called it a touchdown and it got reversed. So he was close to having 2.
12 carries for 16 yards is worrisome.
If you got Kamara, you might have got him on a little bit of a dip with the contract news and the epidural news, but he went out there and looked good. So
Banjo said that.
Feel good about it. You
Jared
made a good
Cook
move.
Had a pretty bad drop. I think that's just Jared Cook.
Drops happen sometimes. It's hard to, it's just those guys with the chronic drops that bother you. Van Jefferson was a rookie on the Rams.
7 targets, though. 7 targets for Jared Cook and 8 targets for Alvin Kamara. So if you paid for Kamara, did you pay for Kamara in the league?
I did not. Chris, when we were drafted, we had one buddy who was in the back with us on our stream. It was Chris. He got him for still expensive, but a bit of a discount. Again, I think a lot of the people were paying attention to the news, and there's just a couple red flags that came up about Kamara. So he's going to be psyched about it. We'll have to hit him up in our chat.
Tom Brady and Drew Brees combined through to 19 different receivers. That sucks. It sucks because you have.
Is that correct?
It is.
Where are you seeing this? That's 19?
Yeah, Tampa Bay
today? Yesterday?
Tom Brady had 10 different receivers. Cameron Brate had a target.
So you are counting the tight ends and the
I'm counting
back.
all receivers.
Gotcha.
I'm counting everything. So you had 19 different players
so
catching
not all
passes.
Receivers per se.
No, but the more you have, 2 total touchdowns for Kamara. Yeah. But what you have is
that's what I thought. But again, if we're looking at the stats right in front of us, and it only had him down for 1 touchdown.
No, it has him for a rushing and a receiving.
Oh, I apologize. I was just looking at the rushing.
Do you even know how to look at these?
Oh, hold on.
All right, we have the Broncos are on the roll.
I made a mistake.
On the run. They're no font again. 25 yards receiving now.
Fantastic.
That is true. You a font or a fant guy?
I'm a fant guy, but
we
can split it. We can split. You can go font. I'll go fant.
Who's a fant and who's a font?
Fanta.
Philip Lindsay, 2 carries for 10 yards. So at least they're using them some. Melvin Gordon 4 for 21. A bad start.
A.J. Brown 1 target, no receptions. That's what I was worried about. That's all right. I sat him, so.
Derrick Henry 6 carries for 27
Played
yards.
Juju, got the win in that league.
All right, what was I even talking about? I was going off. So when you have people like LaShawn McCoy catching passes, the decoy Mike Evans catching passes, Justin Watson catching passes, you just have too many different people, taking points away from the key people that we need to get these targets. That's the problem.
Brady likes to spread it out, trying to get to know everybody.
Josh Hill shouldn't have a target. Traquan Smith.
I think it'll narrow down a little bit. Traquan, he had some hype, didn't come to fruition.
But that's what happens when that's why Michael Thomas is my biggest bust of the week.
I do have on my news feed that it was an ankle for James Conner, so that gives you. I think you feel better that he wasn't just taking the backseat to Snell because they like Snell better, but
you also don't like.
You were concerned that the guy whose narrative is he's going to get hurt, and that's why he dropped is getting hurt right away.
Yeah,
you don't like that.
Well, and his replacement did really well.
Albert O was a tight end in this draft. If you were paying attention in deeper leagues, dynasty leagues, he's inactive for today's game. So if you're looking for him, if you drafted him,
Connor, the new Mr. Glass. I think they almost became Mr. Glass at the same time. Neither of them can stay healthy. We got to remember though. James Conner was kind of given this job. He was given the job. The defenses at the time, hadn't transitioned to him yet. I think James Conner is not very good at football.
I think James Conner had a year where he was very, very good at football. I think
he finished the 2018 season and was just like, what the?
He played the whole season and was like an RB1 and had, I think, 13 touchdowns. Greg, my brother, posted on our YouTube after Nick said that Conner wasn't good at football. His stat lines from that year that you picked him up on the waivers and he won you a league, basically.
Yeah.
He was, I know the footballers do an episode at the end of the year where they have like, what player was the most rostered player on championship teams, and James Conner was the one.
And I'm not arguing with that. He definitely had good games. He carried some.
When he was
games.
in and played last year, he also still looked good and ran well and got points when he was healthy. The problem was that he just got banged up. There'd be games where he thought he was going to play, and then he'd re-aggravate, and he wouldn't play the whole game, and that really hurts you. That's one of the worst things in fantasy is when you think you can play your guy, you got to play him because he's like the more talented guy who's got an injury, goes out there, gets 1 point, and re-aggravates it. It crushes your week. It crushes your team. So.
Well, that's why you didn't start guys like Mike Evans. Because that's exactly what can happen. And he only got you a point.
Even guys that had a little bit of injury, I pivoted away from. I didn't start David Montgomery. I didn't start A.J. Brown. I didn't start, a number of guys that just had those little things throughout the week because I just have that fear now. It just crushes you. I'd rather have a guy go out there, get 12 points. The only time it backfired was I had Chris Godwin had a little injury, and I didn't play him, and he got like 30-something.
Quick breaking news. Noah Fant with a touchdown. 9-yard reception for a touchdown. So
there you go. Somebody needed him. I know it.
Noah Fant, 3 for 37 and a touchdown. How many more points do you need now? So that's what? That's 7 or 6, 9. So you got 10 points now. You need 21 more. Is that right, Banjo? I think Banjo was looking for him earlier.
So we're agreeing that Saquon owners shouldn't be completely panicking yet because it was Pittsburgh?
Saquon's going to be good. I'm not worried at all about
Who should I trade Saquon for? Josh Jacobs?
Oh, my goodness.
Here's a question. Somebody offers you that. You take it for sure, right?
No, I'd still rather have Saquon over Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, so that's... I want to trade Saquon. But I'm trying to decide who would you trade, like Kamara for Saquon. Like, what's the most you'd give up to get Saquon? Let's say there are other people that are like
21.
me.
Okay, nice. So you're getting there.
Yeah, you're on your way.
We're getting there. It's okay.
We're rooting for you. Yes. What's the most you would give up to get Saquon Barkley from a owner who's tilting?
I'd probably pay whatever.
CEH.
Probably.
Interesting.
Probably. Why are you going to offer me Saquon for CEH?
I'm trying to think if that's. I don't think that's the same league. I drafted him just because everywhere I looked, everything I saw, every analyst was like Saquon 2. Saquon's number 2. He could go 1, goes 2.
If you want to trade
I've
me,
never been as high on Saquon
for CEH after 1 week. I mean,
I'm going to try to parlay it into more than that, but I haven't been a believer.
Right. You're going to give me more?
I know he's got those big game potential, but I want more I want him to not be on the Giants.
Aliens.
I want him to just be on another team that's better than the Giants.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right, we're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour here. Anything else you want to talk about before we start wrapping things up?
Oh, let me go to my notes. I'd written some things down.
I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight as well. Yesterday obviously was insane for those who were here. I'm gonna try and get it going again, or we're gonna try and get it going again next Sunday, and hopefully get the same crowd out here and enjoy some
guys.
more
I was watching who might be out there. Paris Campbell, 6 receptions on 9 targets.
How'd you get all the players you were watching?
Laviska, 3 receptions on 4 targets and a touchdown.
Miles Sanders and Devontae Parker for Saquon.
I am concerned about Lev
I
Bell.
would not do that. I would keep Saquon.
Kind of worried about Keenan Allen. He didn't have a great game. He was 4 receptions on 8 targets.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, again, worried about him, but I'm holding him. Chris Carson, the 6 rushing attempts worries me a little, but I think that was a fluky game.
Chris Carson is one that if I could move into something else, I would.
I want to touch on Jamison Crowder. He had a big game. I think he's going to get a lot of volume, especially with Lev Bell being out. They don't have a lot of guys to throw it to. So Crowder and Chris Herndon might get a lot of targets if you're in PPR.
Chris Herndon got you a lot of garbage time points. Not a lot, but he got you 6 points probably in the last minute and a half.
Yeah, so those were kind of the big things I wanted to touch on.
The Jets are going to have that option a lot.
Let me check. I'll give you all an update because I know you're wanting to know. So, again, I think I won 4 of my 5 for sure, and I need...
Nobody wants to know.
They want to know. They're telling me I want to know. Let's see.
Who is telling you that? Anybody in chat want to know how
I need 5.1 more points from the Tennessee Titans. If they can get me 5.1 points from the defense. They're at tough. 6 now. I need 5.1 more.
Oh, I don't know.
To beat out my brother.
I'll take the under.
Who just got married. So, congratulations, Greg. Yeah. I hope you lose tonight. Now that you're married, you can just get used to losing all the time. I'm just kidding. It's great. Wedded bliss.
It's fine.
Hope that you still get to play fantasy football.
I feel like that was part of the arrangement beforehand. Don't you think?
Dev's cool. I love the girl that he married. She'll be cool. She's in our family league too. Her thing is she'll lose every game except when she plays against me because she took Juju, and Juju just has his best games when Devin plays him against me.
I get it. Well, I think I think I won all 3 of my leagues as long as what I need. I need Melvin Gordon not to score 40 points. So
Miles Sanders and Devontae Parker for Saquon. Just take the injured guys and hope that they come back. Devontae Parker we didn't talk about. I know you got him in the league, but
I do.
He re-aggravated his injury that he kind of had a little preseason, so he's going to be out. So hopefully Gesicki can I'm hoping he gets some targets and can be a thing.
Derrick Henry with the catch here for 5 yards, 4 yards, looks like.
All right, everybody. Hope your guys blow up. Hope you win your leagues.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to follow. Check out our YouTube videos. I think we'll end up posting this one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we'll put it up. We'll try to get it up for you. We'll also, again, we'll put them on Spotify. We'll put them on Apple Podcasts. So if you, like me, I was just listening to podcasts mowing the lawn today, throw those on.
And again, with the Discord link is below. So join the Discord and we'll grow that as well.
Yeah, we're just branching out to all the spots we can. So trying to build them.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Doug, for the subscription, and we'll see you next time.
All right.